as there is no central law in which the proposal of change of names of high courts could be addressed. So government has to bring a separate legislation for this. I will urge upon the law minister to kindly bring a bill in this house to change the name of Odisha High Court to High Court of Odisha, and also other courts where there has been demand to change the name. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Maન્ય Honorable Sri P. Wilson ji. P. Wilson.
Thank you, Deputy Chairman, sir.
Please.
Honorable Deputy Chairman, sir.
Here.
I raised to bring to the kind attention of this House an urgent and pressing issue with regards to increasing the retirement age of the High Court judges from 62 to 65 and Supreme Court judges from 65 to 70 years. Sir, judiciary is one of the pillars and lifeline of democracy. It is the final arbiter and interpreter of the Constitution and has played a very crucial role in protecting and shaping the history of this nation. Whether we are on the treasury benches or opposition benches, we finally approach only the judiciary for protecting our rights. Sir, there is a broad-based consensus among all parties and members that it is time we do this to strengthen our judiciary, which is suffering from vacancies and large pendency of cases. We all need the judiciary to be strong and robust. We have not increased the age of retirement of judges since 1963. With advancement in technology and medicine, we are healthier than ever and are able to function well in our 70s, even 80s. Our learned Attorney General is 90 years old of this age and is highly effective. I am personally aware of this because I have argued some cases against him. Sir, many standing committee reports have also consistently recommended this increase in retirement age of judges of High Court. These committee reports have not been deliberated by the government. Then what is the use of the recommendation of the committee? We are spending so much of money on the committees, and honorable members are spending a lot of valuable time in attending the meetings and preparation of reports. Why is the government not even considering them? As per Rule 277 of the Rules of Procedure and Conduct of Business in the Council of States, the reports of the standing committees shall have persuasive value and shall be treated as considered advice by the committees. I think it is a high time to amend this rule to make the recommendation of the standing committee after placing before this House binding on the government, except if it is against the public interest. I call upon the House through our Honourable Chairman to deliberate on this aspect. Sir, I am given to understand that there is some hesitation from the bureaucrats about this bill. However, judges cannot be equated with the bureaucrats.
Thank you. Please, thank you.
Time is over.
Time is over. Sri Suresh Gopi ji, mic is off. It's not going on record.
Sir, I rise in
kindly send your name here
because you have given permission to me in raising a very important issue regarding peaceful and the plightful condition of the lives of betis in this country, from when they are born up to when they give birth to children and get into the grandmothering mode. I just have to make references to incidents which support my contention in this submission. Cross-references from Kerala, and it could be the same case in other parts of the country as well. Sir, right from Vismaya, through many unfortunate girls who were married off, wedded off, with promises which could not be kept or fake promises, alleged promises. And the names in between the two names I have mentioned are very thick, sir. And there is another pack of girls who have met with unfortunate deaths, Krishna Priya, Nitina Mol and Manasa, just for refusing proposals. Since our Honorable President and the Union Government has been highlighting the idea of Beti Bachao, sir, we have to go into the introspection mode, checking how many girls could we save and how many girls are we going to save. Before I think I fall into that getting the mic off, I think I should make my prayer. The government, forgetting cooperative federalism and taking into valuable consideration cooperative peopleism, should have Adalat for girls, for women of the country in all the states. Take a direct account, because the UNICEF reports also say that 70% of the
time.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Dr. V. Siudasan.
Respected Chair, sir, here I am raising very serious issue of the student community. So here, students are facing different kind of problems. In this COVID time, their education expenditure has been increased the same time, University Grant Commission has decreased the number of fellowships and scholarships, sir. So you please look in the matter. Earlier, the data has been revealed by the Minister of Education to my question on this issue in this August House. Sir, the number of emeritus fellowship granted by University Grant Commission has decreased from 559 in 2007 to mere 14 in 2021. So number of S. Radhakrishnan fellowship that decreased 434 to 200. Sir, another scholarship of SC fellowship has come down from 9,503 in 2016-17 to 3,986 in 2020-21. Postdoctoral fellowship for SC and ST, the same kind of things they are facing, that was decreased 554 to 332. Sir, postdoctoral fellowship for women has come down from 642 to 434. Sir, Maulana Azad fellowship, here the UGC has cut down the fellowship that minority student has facing this huge issue. 4,144 in 2016 and 17, it has decreased to 2,348 in 2020-21. Sir, this issue of student community, this issue should be addressed in the House, and the government should address this issue, and the government should help them because they are facing lot of crisis. Their education expenditure has been increased. So thank you, sir. So the House, please intervene in this issue.
Thank you, Sadasan ji. माननीय शक्ति सिंह गोयल जी.
माननीय उपसभापति महोदय, मैं धन्यवाद करता हूं कि इस विषय को उठाने की मुझे यहाँ मंजूरी दी गई। मैंने जब ये नोटिस दिया 0 आवर्स में रेज करने के लिए, पिछले एक सप्ताह में 3 अलग अलग हादसों में पाकिस्तान मरीन हमारे वहां से 3 बोट के साथ 27 मछुआरों को उठा के ले गई। पर कल रात को एक और हादसा हुआ और 10 बोट और 60 फिशरमैन एक ही रात में पाकिस्तान मरीन हमारे वहां से उठा के वो ले गए हैं। मान्यवर, जिस तरह से वहां हमारे मछुआरों के साथ व्यवहार होता है, हमारी बोट्स उठा के ले जाते हैं, उसमें से सारे पुर्जे इंजन बेंजिन निकाल लेते हैं, माने लाखों रुपया का कर्जा जो मछुआरे के ऊपर होता है, वहां जाके वो उसकी हालत जेल में तो रहते ही है। आज के दिन में 643 हमारे गुजरात के मछुआरे पाकिस्तान की जेल में कैद है। मैं आपके जरिए ये अनुरोध करना चाहूंगा सरकार को कि आप जो करना पड़े अपने डिप्लोमेसी के थ्रू, लाल आंख करके करना पड़े, पर जो हमारे मछुआरे गुजरात के 643 आज के दिन में पाकिस्तान की जेल में कैद है, उनके लिए जल्द से जल्द प्रबंध किया जाए। हमारा गुजरात का जो सीशोर दरिया किनारा है, पूरे देश में सबसे बड़ा वो 1660 किलोमीटर का गुजरात का सीशोर है और पाकिस्तान की सरहद से लगा हुआ है। फिशिंग एक बहुत बड़ा सरकार को भी आमदनी देने वाला, अगर हम जिसको आत्मनिर्भर कहे तो फिशरमैन आत्मनिर्भर होकर वहां पे काम करते हैं। उनको ये पहली बार नहीं, बार बार पाकिस्तान मरीन आती है, उठा के ले जाती है। तो ये मछुआरों की सलामती के लिए कुछ सरकार सोचे, ये मेरा अनुरोध आपके।
धन्यवाद शक्ति सिंह जी। श्रीमती सीमा द्विवेदी जी।
माननीय उपसभापति महोदय, मैं आपके माध्यम से सरकार से स्वर साम्राज्य, स्वर कोकिला, भारत रत्न, कीर्ति शेष सुशीलता दीदी का एक तैलचित्र संसद के अंदर लगवाने का विनम्र आग्रह करती हूँ। महोदय, लता दीदी का जीवन से बहुत अनोखी प्रेरणा मिलती है। उन्होंने अपने संघर्षपूर्ण जीवन में संगीत की जादुई अलग से सफलता की बेमिसाल इमारत लिखी है। उनका जीवन यह महान संदेश देता है कि ईश्वर ने आपको जो भी विशिष्ट योग्यता देकर इस पृथ्वी पर भेजा है, उसके साथ न्याय करने की क्षमता से भी आपको लबरेज रखा है। जरूरत सिर्फ इस बात की है कि हमको सतत साधना करने की जरूरत है। सर, मेरा यह भी अपना मंतव्य है कि कोई भी विदेशी व्यक्ति यदि भारतीय संगीत की साधना का अध्ययन करता है और सफलतापूर्वक हासिल कर लेता है तो उसे लता मंगेशकर इंटरनेशनल अवार्ड भी दिया जाए। महोदय, भारत कोकिला उन्होंने अपने सुर साधना से अनंत आत्माओं को तृप्त किया। चारों दिशाओं में जहां उनका यश कीर्ति फैली, उसी के साथ साथ भारत का भी बहुत बड़ा नाम रोशन हुआ। उनकी सादगी, उनकी सरलता, उनकी शालीनता व उनकी सहजता ने इस देश की सभ्यता व संस्कृति का सही प्रतिनिधित्व करती है। महोदय, उन्होंने 36 भाषाओं में संगीत की भारतीय भागीरथी प्रवाहित करने वाली मातृशक्ति के स्वरूप का जो दिव्य दर्शन कराया है, उनका सम्मान करना इस देश का सौभाग्य होगा। उनका सच्चा जीवन संघर्ष सही मामले में नई पीढ़ियों को सदियों तक प्रेरित करने का काम करती रहेगी। यह तैलचित्र उनके द्वारा गाए गए देशभक्ति के अमर गीतों के प्रति श्रद्धांजलि व अमिट सनद होगी। महोदय, ऐ मेरे वतन के लोगों, उनके द्वारा गाया गया यह गीत हर भारतीयों के रक्तों में नया संचार करता है।
आपका समय खत्म हो रहा है माननीय सीमा जी, थैंक यू। समय खत्म हो रहा है। माननीय अबीर रंजन विश्वास, प्लीज, नथिंग नॉट गोइंग ऑन रिकॉर्ड नाउ, टाइम इज ओवर।
Sir, pertaining to the MGNREG 100 days job, initially 22 crore mandates, sir, had been allotted in the labor budget of the current fiscal, which was achieved by the state government within October 21. Further, sir, there was a request by the state government for 5 crore mandates, and that too thankfully was approved by the center, and that, sir, also has been achieved, sir, within December 21. Now, sir, essentially, keeping in mind with the financial difficulty people are in, especially the poor and the marginalized, the state government under the able leadership of our Chief Minister Srimati Mamata Banerjee was compelled to create 4.01 crore mandates in best interest of the economically weaker sections, ideally adhering to the principle of commitment of a democratically elected government in a welfare state to bail out its financially weaker sections. Sir, it is worthy to mention, pending this sanction, the marginalized and the financially weaker sections eagerly and agonizingly await the payment of rupees 826 crores related to this 4.01 crore mandates. Also, sir, it is mention worthy that in year 2020-2021, on an average, we could provide 52 jobs on an average to the job card holders, and in this current financial year, up till now, it has been 42 mandates. And sir, there has been a request from the state government to the center to allot another 8 crore mandates to take care of the rest part of the fiscal. And sir, in this regard, I would like to mention that it most agonizingly, the budget for last year was 98,000 crores. This year it is 73,000 crores. The center needs to rethink on this for in larger interest of the weaker sections. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. माननीय श्री के सोम प्रसाद जी, माननीय के सोम प्रसाद, not present. माननीय श्री ब्रिजलाल जी, demand for increase in allowance associated with police medals.
महोदय, देश के राज्य की पुलिस और पैरामिलिट्री फोर्स को माननीय राष्ट्रपति द्वारा बहादुरी और अदम्य साहस के लिए मेडल दिए जाते हैं। एक मेडल कराता है प्रेसिडेंट पुलिस मेडल फॉर गैलेंट्री, और उसके बाद जो और मेडल दिए जाते हैं उसको बार कहा जाता है। इस पर अलाउंस 2018 के पहले 3,000 रुपया महीना था। इसी तरह दूसरा बहादुरी के लिए मेडल दिया जाता है पुलिस मेडल फॉर गैलेंट्री, उसका अलाउंस है 2,000 रुपीज़ पर मंथ एंड 2,000 फॉर एवरी बार। महोदय, 24 जून 2018 को इसके अलाउंस में इंक्रीज हुआ। प्रेसिडेंट पुलिस मेडल फॉर गैलेंट्री,
सॉरी, क्वेश्चन आवर, टाइम इज ओवर। क्वेश्चन आवर, टाइम इज ओवर, प्लीज। क्वेश्चन नंबर 76, डॉक्टर विकास महात्मे। फर्स्ट सप्लीमेंट्री।
मैं शुरुआत में सरकार को बधाई देना चाहूँगा कि उन्होंने शिक्षा में गर्ल्स स्टूडेंट्स की संख्या बढ़ाने के लिए जो गर्ल्स हॉस्टल्स फैसिलिटीज़ दी है उसके लिए बधाई देना चाहूँगा। लेकिन उसी प्रकार आईआईटी, एनआईटी, ट्रिपल आईटी इसमें लड़कियों की संख्या, गर्ल स्टूडेंट्स की संख्या कम है, तो उसके लिए सरकार द्वारा क्या उपाय योजना की जाती है ताकि यह गर्ल स्टूडेंट्स की संख्या बढ़े?
धन्यवाद।
और साथ ही में मैं
बस एक सवाल हो गया, दूसरा मौका आपको।
नागपुर में इसकी संख्या क्या है और
दूसरों का
उसमें
मौका मिलेगा। एक
वैकेंसीज
सवाल
की
आपने
संख्या।
पूछ लिया, प्लीज
नागपुर के साथ में
जवाब देना प्लीज, माननीय मंत्री
महोदय। माननीय सदस्य ने बहुत महत्वपूर्ण प्रश्न पूछा है। विद द लीडरशिप ऑफ आवर ऑनरेबल प्राइम मिनिस्टर श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी, वी हैव रेज्ड ए कॉल, बेटी बचाओ बेटी पढ़ाओ। ये हम लोग केवल कागज में नहीं रखे, ये हम हर कदम में ये उठाते हैं। जैसे मान लीजिए आईआईटी जो 67 साल में 16 आईआईटी हुआ, और ये 7.5 साल में 7 आईआईटी भी फिर हो गया। और जब मैंने देखा इतने अच्छे इंस्टीट्यूशन में जब लड़कियों को संख्या कितना होता है, ये भी हम लोग स्टडी किया। और ये स्टडी करने के बाद जब हम ऐसे लगा कि इसमें संख्या कम होता है, तब ने हम डिसीजन लिया कि इसको बढ़ाना चाहिए। जब अकॉर्डिंग टू देयर मेरिट जब बच्चे जब नहीं आ सकते हैं, उसमें सुपर न्यूमरी करके हम लोग 2018-19 में 17%, 19-20 में 20%, 14% in 2018 and 19, and 17% in 2019 and 20, and 20% in 2020 and 21. और जो संख्या के बारे में बताए प्रश्न किया माननीय सदस्य जी, 2018-19 में 800 लड़कियों को एक्स्ट्रा लिया है, 2019-20 में 1122, 2020-21 में 1583 और 2021-22 में 1534 सुपर न्यूमरी फीमेल स्टूडेंट्स को लिया गया है।
थैंक यू। सेकंड सप्लीमेंट्री।
We all know that during COVID, what was affected most was the education. So I want to know from the minister, honorable minister, what measures government took for the admissions, because the admissions should not be less. So what measures were taken to increase the number of admissions in these colleges, engineering colleges specifically?
माननीय सदस्य ने ये हमारे जो कोविड संकट के समय बहुत ही अच्छे महत्वपूर्ण प्रश्न पूछा है। सारे देश हमारे माननीय प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी के नेतृत्व से बहुत अच्छे से जूझ रहे हैं, और अच्छे से ये जैसे सुनिए ना, जैसे हेल्थ में वैक्सीनेशन दुनिया में सबसे अच्छा किया, इसी के तरह हमारे नए शिक्षा नीति ये स्टूडेंट सेंट्रिक है। इसलिए हम कोविड सिचुएशन में इंजीनियरिंग में भी बहुत सारे कदम लिया है। पहला कदम नंबर 1 जो वहाँ
माननीय मंत्री जी ब्रीफली जवाब दें, बहुत सारे लोगों को
एलिजिबिलिटी क्राइटेरिया 75% था पहले, उसको हम लोग हटा दिया। जो जेई एडवांस में वो 75% था, उसको हटा दिया, और 1 एडिशनल चांस भी दिया 2020 में जो रजिस्टर्ड किया लेकिन परीक्षा में अपियर नहीं हो पाए, उसको हमने मौका दिया। इसके छोड़कर 2021 में जेई मेन में तो हम 4 बार परीक्षा हुआ, और इसके साथ एआईसीटीई के द्वारा इस बार 13 लैंग्वेज में हमारे जेई परीक्षा हुआ।
थैंक यू। प्रोफेसर मनोज कुमार झा।
शुक्रिया उपसभापति महोदय। मेरा आपके माध्यम से माननीय मंत्री जी से प्रश्न है कि हाल के वर्षों में आईआईटीज में और कई सारे यूनिवर्सिटीज में नॉन फाउंड सूटेबल इस्तेमाल किया जा रहा है। ये मनोवृत्ति एक प्रवृत्ति का हिस्सा बनती जा रही है, खास तौर पर एससी, एसटी एंड ओबीसी अपॉइंटमेंट में। क्या सरकार इसको संज्ञान में लेकर के कुछ बेसिक इंटरवेंशन करने को सोच रही है?
महोदय, माननीय सदस्य को ये बताने चाहता हूं मैं कि हमारे राष्ट्रीय शिक्षा नीति ये इंक्लूसिव है, ये माने अकाउंटेबिलिटी एंड टू ऑल। नेचुरली ये हम लोग सबको लेकर ही चलते हैं, ये हम लोग हमारे संज्ञान में है। हम
विकास रंजन भट्टाचार्य जी.
Sir, there are 6,535 sanctioned posts are lying vacant in the central universities, which includes IIT and other institutes of technology. What steps are going to be taken to fill up these vacancies?
Thank you.
Which is more fundamental.
Thank you. Thank you.
हमारी appointment of teacher is a continuous process, and in our national education policy, we are always eager to this, and it is stated, including IITs, to fill the vacant positions in their institution in mission mode. We are taking it in mission mode with a period of 1 year. That is from 5th September 2021 to 4th September 2022. To monitor the action taken and progress made, IITs were directed to include a chapter in their annual report. Look at annual report depicting the status of filling up this post, including the agenda in their board of governance, giving status of action taken in this regard, and to send a monthly report to the secretary. We are very sincere on this.
Mr. Kamakhya Prasad Tasa.
Chairman sir, मैं मिनिस्टर को विस्तृत आंसर देने के लिए धन्यवाद देता हूं. मेरा क्वेश्चन है, जो डिटेल्स उन्होंने दिया है यूजी वैकेंट सीट्स, यूजी में यूनिवर्सिटी ग्रांट कमीशन का जितना है पीजी और पीएचडी में ज़्यादा हो रहा है. प्रति वर्ष इतना वैकेंसी होने का कारण क्या है, जहां पर आदमी लोग पीजी और पीएचडी के लिए क्या इच्छुक नहीं है, या क्या कारण से इतना वैकेंसी अराइज किया, इसको माननीय मंत्री बताइए.
महोदय, माननीय सदस्य का ऑब्जर्वेशन एकदम ठीक ही है. हाँ, वैसे हमारे देश आगे बढ़ रहे हैं, and because of that, the high level attrition in masters and PhD program due to better employment opportunity. जब बच्चे लोग रिसर्च में जाते हैं, उसी समय उसको अपॉर्चुनिटी मिल जाता है, इसलिए वो छोड़ देते हैं. And the family reason sometimes for earning after graduation and better placement in our education opportunities in foreign nations. बाहर भी जाते हैं, हमारे ये के बच्चे को बाहर भी बहुत लोगों की डिमांड है. इसके साथ साथ प्रायोरिटी टुवर्ड्स मैनेजमेंट and allied subjects to the engineering graduates and self-employment. ये हम जो कहते हैं ना अच्छे दिन, वो स्टार्टअप बहुत सारे आज वर्ल्ड में हम 3 नंबर पोजीशन में हमारे स्टार्टअप है. Self-employment after graduation with soft loan opportunity, and they are making the startup. And the higher salary or income or employment after graduation that the research fellow ऐसे जैसा होता है इससे ज़्यादा मिलता है उनको. And
thank you. Question number 77, Srimati Geeta Elash Chandra Prabha ji. अनुपस्थित. ने मंत्री जी.
A statement is laid on the table of the House.
श्री राम कुमार वर्मा.
माननीय उपसभापति जी, बहुत बहुत आपको धन्यवाद. मैं केंद्र सरकार को और मंत्रालय को पहले तो धन्यवाद देना चाहता हूं कि दिव्यांगजन के लिए बहुत सारी स्कीम्स और उनके लिए 2016 का एक्ट के द्वारा वो किया. मैं जानना ये चाहता हूं कि इसमें नेशनल इंस्टीट्यूशन और सीआरसी के सेंटर खोले गए. मैं राजस्थान प्रदेश से आता हूं, तो राजस्थान प्रदेश की स्थिति क्या है और क्या सीआरसी सेंटर राजस्थान में खोलने का विचार है क्या?
Sir, we have taken a major steps on this regard. We have 9 national institutes are there. We have 9 regional centers are there. Composite regional centers, we have started 21. Even wherever the CRC are there, we are getting the reports. One proposal before the government. Let the proposals come. After that, we will see whether it is essential or not, sir.
Thank you. माननीय प्रसन्न आचार्य जी।
Sir, as this question relates to persons with disabilities, whom we call in a very honorable way the Dibhyangajana, I would like to know from the honorable minister whether any study or assessment has been made to know how many Dibyangajanas are in the country who are qualified and capable of seeking jobs and who are seeking jobs in government and private sector. Whether government will consider to increase the percentage of reservation for these Dibyangajan in the government sector and the private sector as well, so that these qualified Dibyangajan can get jobs as per their qualifications.
Thank you.
Sir, in the country, we have made a census in 2011. There is 2,68,14,994 Divyangajan is there. With regarding male, 1,49,593 males are there. Females are there, 1,18,26,401, sir. But what I must know, there is earlier, there was only disabilities are included only the 7, sir. Only 7 earlier. After that, we made an act on 2016, the range of disabilities. We included nearly 21 disabilities for this disability program, sir. But we have increased this reservation policy from 3% to 4% reservation in the employment as well in the private sector also, sir. We have no any statistics from there, sir.
Thank you. Mr. KJ Alphonse.
So I would like to know from the Honourable Minister whether they would be able, government would be able to provide free artificial limbs to all those who are required. There are a very large number of people who, if it is provided, sir, they could have a life.
Thank you. Sir, Honourable Member, it's a good question he has made, sir. Under ADIP scheme, grants in aid from 7 years, we have spent nearly 1,311 crores was utilized during the last 7 years. Current year benefited nearly 21,59,000 lakh people were benefited, sir. Now we have made the camps of nearly 11,505 camps we have attended, sir. Out of these mega camps, 1 campus in Gwalior was graced by the Honorable President, and 5 camps were graced by the Honorable Prime Minister at the Varanasi, Navsari, Vadodara, Rajkot, and Prayanjan, sir. We have made some special operations for the Divyangas, sir. Kohilar implement nearly 3,965. We have made an operation, sir. It is for this, here in this speech, sir. This is from the help of this CSR fund, sir. Metallized tricycles are there, sir. We have given 27,028 metallized tricycles, sir. We have given in the country, sir. At the same time, there is so many programs, camps we have conducted, sir. Scheme of the Assistance with Disabilities Persons for the purchase. There are 6 production units of the artificial.
Honorable Minister, please reply briefly because others can get.
Sir, this is the very helpful to the handicapped, right? Sir, disabled, sir. This is,
yes, I know.
Nobody is there to convey the minister to had aids and assistance for their constituency, sir. This Alamco is there. It is. We have got the manufacturing units, sir. The Artificial Limbs Manufacturing Corporation of India is the country such as in Kanpur, Bangalore, Bhubaneswar, Ujjaini, Jabalpur, Mahali, and Alchem is producing over there 350 different types of aids and appliances in the Divyangas, sir. The quality of these products are second to the.
Please be brief now. Do not.
We cannot always.
Please be brief. Enough. Please be brief. Thank you. माननीय सदस्यगण, मैं बार बार रिक्वेस्ट करता हूं, आप में से मेंबर्स बार बार कहते हैं हमारे क्वेश्चंस नहीं आए। माननीय मंत्रीगण और माननीय सदस्यों दोनों से आग्रह है कि अगर ब्रीफली आप पूछेंगे तो अधिक से अधिक लोगों को अपॉर्चुनिटी होगा। अगर माननीय मंत्रियों को विस्तार से डाटा देना है तो संबंधित व्यक्ति को भेज दें। माननीय श्री नीरज शेखर जी, क्वेश्चन नंबर 78।
प्रश्न संख्या 78।
माननीय मंत्री जी,
पटल पर रख दिया गया।
फर्स्ट सप्लीमेंटरी। माननीय
उपाध्यक्ष जी, आपसे अनुरोध है कि इस प्रश्न में आप भी एसोसिएट करिएगा, मैं चाहूंगा। माननीय मंत्री जी का जो जवाब है, मैं पहले बधाई देना चाहूंगा। मैं फिर लेकिन थोड़ा कंफ्यूज हो गया हूं कि हम नेशनल हाईवे 4 लेन कर रहे हैं और ग्रीन फील्ड भी बना रहे हैं। इसका मैं चाहूंगा एक स्पष्टीकरण आ जाए कि ग्रीन फील्ड भी बन रहा है कि जो वर्तमान नेशनल हाईवे 31 है जो गाजीपुर से माझी घाट तक है उसको 4 लेन कर रहे हैं हम लोग और ग्रीन एक्सप्रेस भी बन रहा है। उसके साथ मैं ये भी जानना चाहूंगा, आपने जो कहा है कि इसमें जो दिया है कब तक काम शुरू हुआ, क्योंकि माननीय मंत्री जी ने 2016 में इसका शिलान्यास किया था और अब 2022 है, तो मैं चाहूंगा कि ये भी स्पष्ट हो जाए कब काम शुरू होगा, क्योंकि अभी तक कोई काम शुरू नहीं हुआ और बड़े बड़े गड्ढे हैं उस नेशनल हाईवे में।
सर, ये जो रोड के बारे में जिक्र कर रहे हैं एक पुराना रोड है जिसके बारे में माननीय सदस्य की सक्रियता से उसके ऊपर तकरीबन 81 करोड़ का काम शुरू हो चुका है, क्योंकि वो रोड काफी खराब हालत में थी। उसके बाद इस चीज के ऊपर विचार किया गया कि क्या इस रोड के अलावा हम एक छोटी रोड बना सकते हैं जो उसका रास्ता थोड़ा छोटा हो। इसलिए एक नया ग्रीनफील्ड अलाइनमेंट बन रहा है जो कि शुरू होकर गंगा पार करके जाएगा और इसके अंदर एक स्पर दिया गया है जो कि बक्सर तक जाएगा। ये जो रोड जो नया जो हमारा 4 लेनिंग है गाजीपुर से बलिया और यूपी बिहार बॉर्डर तक, इसमें डीपीआर बन चुकी है, 4 लेन का रोड होगा और इसके ऊपर जल्दी काम शुरू हो रहा है क्योंकि डीपीआर इसकी बन चुकी है। इसके अंदर एक चीज के लिए लैंड रिक्वायरमेंट जो है 3A हो चुका है, 3D होना बाकी है। हम 3D इसलिए रुके हुए हैं क्योंकि पूर्वांचल एक्सप्रेसवे का एक हिस्सा इसी के साथ जा रहा था, तो दोनों के बीच में तालमेल करने के लिए ताकि सरकार का पैसा एक ही जगह पर लगे, एक ही अलाइनमेंट के अंदर 2 रोडों का कोई फायदा नहीं था, इसलिए थोड़ी सी उसमें देरी है। जहां तक
प्लीज do not talk like this. You are not supposed to talk like this, Mr. Biswal. Please reply.
दूसरा जो कि पुराना जो कि हमारा नेशनल हाईवे 31 है इसके ऊपर काम शुरू हो चुका है। जैसे मैंने बताया 130 किलोमीटर का है और तकरीबन 81 करोड़ रुपया इस पर सैंक्शन हो चुका है, काम चालू।
थैंक यू। सेकंड सप्लीमेंट्री
ग्रीनफील्ड एक्सप्रेसवे बनेगा।
सेकंड सप्लीमेंट्री माननीय नीरज जी, सेकंड सप्लीमेंट्री।
मैं पहले ये जानना चाहूंगा कि ग्रीनफील्ड एक्सप्रेसवे बनेगा और मेरा दूसरा प्रश्न ये है कि इन्होंने कहा रिविलगंज में बाईपास बन रहा है, लेकिन आप जानते हैं, खुद आपने अनुभव किया होगा बलिया शहर में जहां आवश्यकता है बाईपास की, क्योंकि इसका भी वहां पे उन्होंने कहा था माननीय मंत्री जी ने कि बाईपास बनेगा, क्योंकि आज के दिन रोजाना वहां पर जाम जैसी स्थिति पूरे दिन बनी रहती है। तो मैं माननीय मंत्री जी से जानना चाहूंगा कि बलिया में भी बाईपास बनेगा क्या?
सर, जो पहला इनका सवाल था कि क्या दोनों रोड बन रहे हैं, उसका उत्तर है दोनों बन रहे हैं। ग्रीन फील्ड भी बन रहा है, पुराने वाले को ठीक किया जा रहा है। दूसरी चीज जो कि जहां तक बलिया का सवाल है, पहले प्रपोजल था कि बलिया के अंदर एक ओवरब्रिज दिया जाए, एलिवेटेड सेक्शन दिया जाए, उसके लिए वहां पर स्थान कम है, इसलिए बाईपास का प्रावधान है। साथ ही आगे जाकर रेवलगंज का बाईपास भी बनेगा ताकि शहर को बाईपास करके हम उसको आगे रोड से मिला सकें और उसको आगे हाजीपुर तक ले जा सके। बलिया के कंजेशन के लिए जरूरी था कि इसमें बाईपास बने, वो बाईपास ग्रीनफील्ड एक्सप्रेस का बनेगा।
धन्यवाद। माननीय एम सन्मुगम जी, क्वेश्चन रिलेट्स टू NH of Gazipur to Hajipur. Your question is related to this, then you can ask.
Sir,
please.
I want to ask a question regarding the national highways.
It's related to Gazipur to Hajipur, sir.
Sir, I want to ask the question of the Tamil Nadu.
Ramila Vichar bhai. Bara. Mr.
Ramila Vichar bhai, Bara.
Sir, he is not asking about Tamil Nadu. He wants to ask question about my.
Sir, this question relates to Gazipur to Hajipur. I have made it clear.
Sir, I am asking
and this is the convention and rule of the
House. I am asking national highways, sir. Please. What is the progress
Kanak Medla Ravindra Kumar, your question. Gazipur to Hajipur.
No, my lord, with regard to highways.
Come to the next question. Ask on the next question, I'll give you opportunity. Question number 80, Dr. Vinay P. Sahasrabuddhe. Dr. Vinay Sahasrabuddhe, please.
Question number 80.
Question number 80.
Sir, statement is laid on the table of the House.
Question number 80, it's for 16.3. Question, Manya Mantri ji.
Sir, the answer.
Yes. First supplementary.
Yeah, that is what I'm saying. So the answer very clearly shows that for whatever the reason, but the polytechnics and ITIs in Maharashtra who were provided with a huge amount of financial support.
It's postponed, already postponed, coming on 16.3. It's mentioned. Sir, the member has requested that he will be present on 16.3, so this question has been postponed. Please.
सर मेरा सप्लीमेंट्री ये है कि महाराष्ट्र के पॉलिटेक्निक और आईटीआईज को बहुत अच्छे तरीके से केंद्र सरकार ने आर्थिक सहायता मुहैया कराने के बावजूद महाराष्ट्र के पॉलिटेक्निक और आईटीआईज उस सहायता का सरकार की लापरवाही के कारण शायद उपयोग नहीं कर पा रहे। जैसे इस जवाब में बताया गया है कि 130 करोड़ महाराष्ट्र को दिया गया था, मगर 18 से लेकर 21 तक कोई उपयोग नहीं किया। आईटीआई नासिक को लगभग यहां पर लिखा गया है कि 6 करोड़ रुपया दिया गया था, उपयोग नहीं किया। इसकी वजह क्या मैं जान सकता हूं? Sir, the polytechnics and ITIs are a very important part of our education, higher education and skilling network. Polytechnics are administered by the Ministry of HRD, Ministry of Education and the AICT. And the ITIs are administered by the Skill India, that is the MSD ministry, sir, of which whom I represent. Sir, the question that is being raised by the honorable member relates to the fact that money has been allocated. Money has been allocated to polytechnics and ITIs in the state of Maharashtra. However, they have not been able to have that money released to them. And the reason for that is very simple, sir. There is a condition that the state government that is responsible for the administration, day-to-day administration of these institutions, have to submit a utilization certificate. And those, as long as those utilization certificates are not submitted, no release can be made under the Government of India rules, sir.
Thank you. Second supplementary.
Sir, I would also like to know, sir, what are the reasons for their inability to provide the utilization certificate?
Not going on records, please.
Whether, sir, there are any allegations of maladministration and corruption which is rampant in Maharashtra. I would like to know whether there are any allegations pertaining to corruption and maladministration in Maharashtra. Sir, the not providing of utilization certificates is certainly a matter of concern, because these relate to education and skilling institutions that relate to and that affect the lives of youth. So if the member has any information relating to why these utilization certificates are not forthcoming, I would invite him to submit the same to me and I will look into it, sir.
Thank you. Manya Shri Anil Desai ji.
Sir, Honorable Minister has given a very elaborate answer regarding the provisions which are made in especially polytechnics and ITIs, which come under Skill Development Ministry. And my colleague, while saying that he has
question, please,
blatantly, no, I want to make a mention. Blatant accusations on the Maharashtra government is absolutely not tenable, and it is not accepted. Because the fact of the matter in this answer, whatever is been given by the Honorable Minister, mentions that these are the things which come from the center and provisions to be
Are you
asked.
not asking questions?
I'm asking the Minister, sir, to you. Can Minister say, or can Minister give me answer on this, that there are several private polytechnics are there after the Skill Development Ministry has instituted and given impetus to this particular sector to generate employment in the state.
Brief,
and there is nothing of state government as such. And even I would like to ask the Minister to see from the Maharashtra government. Even I know.
Please put question, otherwise I'll move to other.
Polytechnics and ITIs have time and again asked for the assistance, which have not.
Are you
come
asking your question or
not? What is the answer for neglecting state of Maharashtra?
Question Dr. V. Sivdasan, please.
Development centers are very less now, so the Adivasis and Dalits,
It's not explanation.
Are facing lot of
questions. You are supposed to ask a question. You reply. Please.
Whether government has any plan to start new skill development centers in Adivasi areas, rural India.
अभी देख, please. माननीय मंत्री, आप बताएं. माननीय सदस्यगण, आपको सवाल पूछने हैं, आप 0 आवर नहीं पढ़ रहे हैं, कृपया सवाल पूछिए. प्लीज सवाल, क्वेश्चन, प्लीज आंसर एंड प्लीज आंसर यू गिव. प्लीज he is replying to that. You go and listen.
This question,
his question, you reply if you feel it will. Please.
Sir, the honourable member.
Please.
Sir, the honourable member is agitated about something that I don't think he should be agitated about. The question was why, when money has been allotted to certain institutions that are important for the development of skilling and education.
He is replying.
And they
are replying to that.
So I clarified that the utilization certificates have not come from Government of Maharashtra. And it is important for the member to make sure that the utilization certificate comes. Because this money is allocated, allotted to the...
Now, B. Sivdasan's reply.
Sir, I would urge through you, sir, to request the member to ask the Government of Maharashtra to submit the utilization certificate so that the funding can be released. That is all.
That is over.
Sir,
V. Sivdasan reply. Yes,
sir,
V. Sivdasan.
the question by...
Reply.
Sir, as far as the question by Honorable Member Shivdasan is concerned, sir, this question pertains to Maharashtra, it pertains to ITIs and polytechnics, and he is asking questions about the broader Skill India network. I can assure him, sir, that we are very focused on growing the Skill India and taking it to every cluster, including tribals of India. So if there is any specific information he wants, he is welcome to visit me in the office and I will share it with him, sir.
Question number 81, Sri Rakesh Sinha. माननीय मंत्री जी, फर्स्ट सप्लीमेंट्री.
सर, सभापति महोदय, हम जानते हैं कि एक्स्ट्रा पार्लियामेंट्री फोर्सेज के रूप में माओवाद
प्लीज यू नो द रूल पोजीशंस माननीय जयराम रमेश जी, आपस में बात ना करें. यू नो मोर
धारा है
अबाउट इट. प्लीज
जो विचारधारा न सिर्फ हिंसा पर आधारित है बल्कि देश को टुकड़े टुकड़े करने का प्रयास कर रहा है. सभापति महोदय, आप जानते हैं कि इसमें अर्बन नक्सल का जो समर्थन मिल रहा है, जो लोग पत्रकार और शिक्षाविद के नाम पर छिपकर इस नक्सलवाद को, माओवाद को बढ़ा रहे हैं, और यह आयातित विचारधारा, मैं मंत्री महोदय जी से जानना चाहता हूं कि इस आयातित विचारधारा विश्वविद्यालय और पत्रकारिता में बैठे हुए लोग जो अर्बन नक्सल के नाम पर देश को टुकड़े टुकड़े कर रहे हैं और उस अर्बन नक्सल को कुछ मुख्य धारा की राजनीतिक पार्टियां समर्थन कर रही हैं, उस अर्बन नक्सल को
सिर्फ आपका सवाल रिकॉर्ड पे जा रहे हैं, बाकी और कुछ नहीं. प्लीज.
उनके विदेशों से उनके संबंध, उनको मिलने वाले फंड के बारे में मैं मंत्री जी से जानना चाहता हूं.
सवाल पूछे माननीय मंत्री जी.
और सभापति महोदय, माननीय सदस्य राकेश जी ने एक ही बार में कई प्रश्न पूछा है और बड़ी ही बारीकी से पूछा है. मैं उनको बताना चाहूँगा आपके माध्यम से सदन को भी कि भारत में माओवादी विचारधारा हमेशा, जैसा उन्होंने कहा है कि विचारधारा आयातित है, उस पर मैं कह रहा हूँ कि भारत में माओवादी की विचारधारा हमेशा विदेशी माओवादी संगठनों और विचारकों से प्रभावित होते रहे. अगर इसके विरुद्ध देश में कोई कानूनी कार्रवाई की जाती है तो अंतर्राष्ट्रीय संगठन इस मुद्दे को उठाते हैं और इनकी सहायता के लिए आगे भी आते हैं. सीपीआई माओवादी अंतर्राष्ट्रीय संगठनों पर माओवादी इकोसिस्टम का एक हिस्सा है। उपसभापति महोदय, वामपंथी उग्रवाद की विचारधारा विध्वंसक एवं मानवता विरोधी है, जबकि प्रारंभ से ही भारतीय संस्कृति और सोच की गोद में पल रही भारतीय विचारधारा रचनात्मक एवं मानवतावादी है। भारत विरोधी नारा लगाने वाले और भारतीय महापुरुषों का अपमान करने वाले विचार कभी भारतीय विचारधारा का अंग नहीं हो सकते। ऐसी विचारधारा विदेशी विचारधारा से ही ओतप्रोत है। भारतीय जो रचनात्मक और मानवतावाद की विचारधारा है के वाहक दुनिया में लोकप्रिय एवं गरीबों के मसीहा माननीय नरेंद्र मोदी हैं। वामपंथ विचारधारा की विचारधारा भारत में आई भी और पली बढ़ी भी, लेकिन माननीय प्रधानमंत्री आदरणीय मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में बड़ी तेजी से समाप्ति की ओर भी बढ़ रहा है। जहां तक इन्होंने शहरी वामपंथ उग्रवाद की बात कही, भारत सरकार की राष्ट्रीय नीति एवं कार्य योजना वामपंथ उग्रवाद की शहरी गतिविधियों सहित इसके सभी स्वरूपों से जुड़ी हुई समस्याओं के समाधान के लिए बनाई गई है। यह हम जानते हैं कि वामपंथ उग्रवाद की कोई भी गतिविधि सोची समझी रणनीति के तहत की जाती है, जो देश की सुरक्षा और विकास में भी बाधक बनती है, चाहे वह शहरी क्षेत्र की गतिविधियां हो। यह भी सर्वविदित है कि वामपंथ उग्रवाद लोकतंत्र में विश्वास और हथियार के बल पर व्यवस्था बदलकर एक डिक्टेटरशिप लाना चाहते हैं। जहां तक तो इस तरह से जो माननीय राकेश सिन्हा जी का प्रश्न है, आप कहते हैं तो मैं इसको इस संक्षिप्त में हमने इनका उत्तर दिया है। अगर और विस्तार में जानना चाहेंगे तो कभी उनको हम
प्लीज माननीय सदस्यगण प्लीज सेकंड सप्लीमेंट्री आप पूछे इसके पहले प्लीज आप एक सेकंड सप्लीमेंट्री
लिंकेज के विषय बताएं।
सेकंड सप्लीमेंट्री आप बोला प्लीज। माननीय सदस्यगण, आप सबसे मेरा आग्रह है, सवाल पूछते वक्त आप जीरो आर करने लगते हैं, उत्तर देते वक्त माननीय मंत्री लंबा होते हैं, और सवाल से अगर संतुष्ट है तो उसकी क्या प्रक्रिया आप सदस्य जानते हैं। सारी चीजें रूल्स के तहत चेयर करता है। चेयर के हाथ में क्या, आप अगर अच्छी तरह सवाल पूछे, माननीय मंत्री अच्छी तरह जवाब दे तो हम और सवालों का जवाब पा सकते हैं। प्लीज सेकंड सप्लीमेंट्री प्लीज, और सीट पर बैठ करके प्लीज ना बोले। क्वेश्चन आवर में पॉइंट ऑफ ऑर्डर नहीं झांसा, प्लीज बैठ जाए प्लीज। नो पॉइंट ऑफ ऑर्डर इन क्वेश्चन आवर प्लीज।
सभापति
आप बैठे सभापति महोदय आप बोले, सिर्फ आप, इट्स नॉट गोइंग ऑन रिकॉर्ड प्लीज। आप बोले
2015 में सरकार ने नेशनल पॉलिसी एक्शन प्लान के तहत सिक्योरिटी ड्रिवन अप्रोच से वेलफेयर ड्रिवन अप्रोच की ओर ले गया, जिससे नक्सलवाद पर बहुत नियंत्रण हुआ। मैं मंत्री जी से जानना चाहता हूं कि विगत वर्षों में सरकार के द्वारा उठाए गए कदम से 60 जिलों में जो नक्सलवाद फैला हुआ है उस पर क्या प्रभाव पड़ा है। उसके साथ साथ सभापति महोदय,
धन्यवाद, एक सवाल हो गया आपका।
सभापति महोदय, मैं इतना कहना चाहता हूं कि जो लोग अर्बन नक्सलवाद को लेजिटिमेसी देते हैं वो देश के साथ अन्याय कर रहे हैं, और मुख्य धारा की राजनीतिक पार्टियों को ऐसा काम नहीं करना चाहिए।
राकेश जी, एक सवाल हो गया प्लीज, संक्षेप में माननीय मंत्री।
संक्षेप में बोल रहा हूँ। माननीय मोदी जी की सरकार ने वामपंथी उग्रवाद की समस्या को प्रभावी तरीके से हल करने के लिए राष्ट्रीय नीति और कार्य योजना को 2015 में मंजूरी दी, जो बहुआयामी कार्य नीति पर आधारित है, जिसमें सुरक्षा संबंधी उपाय, विकास संबंधी उपाय, आदिवासियों और स्थानीय समुदाय के अधिकारों और हक को सुनिश्चित करना आदि शामिल है। इस योजना के दृढ़ क्रियान्वयन के फलस्वरूप पूरे देश में वामपंथ उग्रवाद के परिदृश्य में अत्यधिक सुधार हुआ है। महोदय, इसके परिणाम स्वरूप हिंसा की घटनाओं में, जैसा जानना चाह रहे थे, विगत कुछ वर्षों से, मैं चाहूंगा कि उसको मैं संक्षिप्त में बताऊं। हिंसा की घटनाओं में 70% की उल्लेखनीय कमी आई है, जो वर्ष 2009 के 2028 के उच्चतम स्तर से घटकर 2021 में 509 हो गई है, 509। इसके परिणाम स्वरूप मौतों में तो कमी आई ही है, भौगोलिक विस्तार में भी इसमें कमी आई है। इसी तरह परिणामी मौतों की संख्या 2010 के 1005 के अब तक के उच्चतम स्तर से 85% घटकर 2021 में 147 हो गई है, 147। वामपंथी उग्रवादी विचारधारा के शिकार जिलों की संख्या 2010 में जो 96 थी वह 2021 में घटकर 46 रह गई है, 46 रह गई है। माननीय उनका प्रश्न था सर, तो मैं जवाब तो दे दूं। वर्ष 2013 के परिदृश्य में 2021 में हिंसक घटनाओं में 55.2% की कमी 1136 से घटकर 509 और वामपंथी उग्रवाद से संबंधित मौतों में 50.4% कमी यानी 397 से घटकर 147 हो गई है।
माननीय मंत्री जी, डिटेल रिपोर्ट है तो भेज दे प्लीज। कंक्लूड लेट अस।
मैं कंक्लूड कर रहा हूं महोदय। और सशस्त्र माओवादी काडरों के खात्मे में 36% की वृद्धि यानी 100% से 126 हुई है। दूसरी ओर सुरक्षा बलों के जवानों के हताहत होने में 56.5% की कमी 155 से घटकर 50।
माननीय मंत्री जी
50 पर आंकड़े बस मैं कंक्लूड कर रहा हूं महोदय। यह आंकड़े सुरक्षा बलों के प्रभावी ऑपरेशंस और गृह मंत्रालय द्वारा किए गए क्षमता का निर्माण और बार बार माननीय गृह मंत्री द्वारा राज्यों के साथ समन्वय बैठक करके डॉक्टर यह स्थिति लाई गई है। क्षमता निर्माण
मंत्री जी
दर्शाते हैं।
मैं दूसरे सवाल को बुला रहा हूं। माननीय मंत्री जी प्लीज।
कारण लगातार वामपंथी उग्रवादी की बड़ी तादाद और हिंसा रास्ता छोड़कर मुख्य धारा में लौटे हैं।
डॉक्टर प्रशांत नंदा।
Thank you, sir. Sir, the government of India has been requested to consider provision of dedicated helicopter to the state at the earliest for stationing at Koraput, which will cater to the operational requirement of most affected districts of like Malkangiri, Kandhamal and Kalahandi. The Honorable Chief Minister of Odisha has raised this issue in the review meeting on LWA taken by the Union Home Minister on 26/9/2021. What actions have been taken?
माननीय गृह मंत्री जी, जब क्षेत्रीय काउंसिल की मीटिंग होती है या फिर माओवादी की समाप्ति से के संबंध में जब राज्यों से समन्वय की मीटिंग करते हैं और जब राज्य और केंद्र के सहयोग से माओवादी को समाप्त करने के लिए हम कदम उठाते हैं और जब हम पहल करते हैं तो उसमें भी यह विषय आता जरूर है। जैसा उन्होंने बताया है, एमएचए ने बड़ी ही तथा एयरफोर्स हेलीकॉप्टर, एमएचए के जो हेलीकॉप्टर हमारे जो बीएसएफ के पास होते हैं और जो हेलीकॉप्टर एयरफोर्स के पास है, भारत सरकार की एयरफोर्स के पास, जब जरूरत होती है तो हम दोनों हेलीकॉप्टरों का प्रयोग राज्य के कहने पे जरूरतों के हिसाब से और अपनी जरूरतों के हिसाब से हम उसको उपलब्ध कराते हैं। हम उसमें कोई कमी नहीं होने देते हैं। ठीक नहीं, कोई कमी नहीं होने देते। सर, हेलीकॉप्टर पर पूछ रहे थे, बार बार उन्होंने जो कहा कि इस हेलीकॉप्टर को बिल्कुल इस क्षेत्र के लिए ही प्रभावी ढंग से लगाया जाए, तो हेलीकॉप्टर प्रभावी ढंग से ही लगाई जाती है। केंद्र सरकार की जो इकाइयां हैं, सभी इकाइयां इस देश की सुरक्षा के लिए, शांति के लिए, विकास के लिए उपयोग किए जाते हैं। इसलिए हम नक्सलवाद के क्षेत्र की समाप्ति के लिए, उसके खात्मा के लिए हम भारत सरकार की एयरफोर्स और एमएचए के हेलीकॉप्टर का हम उपयोग करते हैं। और सरकार बार बार इसकी कई राज्यों ने इसकी सराहना भी की है और हम कई राज्यों के एयरपोर्ट पर
माननीय मंत्री जी
अपने एमएचए के हेलीकॉप्टर को वहां स्टैंड बाई में रखते हैं और कार्रवाई को प्रभावी बनाते हैं।
श्री विनय विश्वम जी, यू नो कि अगर माननीय मंत्री जी के सवाल आपकी अपेक्षा के अनुसार नहीं है तो देयर आर रूल्स फॉर दैट, फॉलो दैट प्लीज। माननीय विनय विश्वम जी प्लीज। Yes, your question will come on record, Vinay ji.
Yes,
Please.
sir, thank you. Sir,
but be brief, please.
Not so unbrief like that. Sir, is the government aware of the fact that unlike the right-wing extremism, which has a foreign influence, emanates from Italy and Germany, the left-wing extremism has got a it has a question. It has a socio-economic root under its base. Is the government aware of that fact? If so, whether the government has a plan to address that question of socio-economic deprivation, that's the Indian reality.
Thank you.
We can argue,
सभापति महोदय, one minute.
Please. माननीय मंत्री आप जवाब
महोदय,
माननीय मंत्री जी का जवाब।
सभापति महोदय,
माननीय विनय जी, आप दोनों आपस में बात ना करें।
सभापति महोदय, भारत का इतिहास गवाह है कि हम सामाजिक रूप से
नॉट गोइंग ऑन रिकॉर्ड विनय जी, प्लीज।
सामाजिक रूप से और आर्थिक रूप से न्यायपूर्ण कार्रवाइयों को माननीय नरेंद्र मोदी जी की सरकार उनके नेतृत्व में किस प्रकार से कर रही है और इसी का परिणाम है सर, सामाजिक और आर्थिक पहलों का ही परिणाम है कि आज उस प्रकार से
यू प्लीज टॉक आउटसाइड, मिस्टर जॉन ब्रेटस, टॉक आउटसाइड प्लीज।
सर और सुनिए सर और कहीं भी यह उदाहरण नहीं है कि उग्रवादी वामपंथी उग्रवादी संगठन विकास चाहते हैं। यही कारण है कि विकास बाधित होता रहा है और जब से वामपंथी उग्रवाद की गतिविधियों में नरेंद्र मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में कमी आई है, मैं उसको कहने के लिए बड़ी प्रतिबद्धता के साथ कह रहा हूं कि उन क्षेत्रों में सामाजिक उत्थान और आर्थिक विकास भी हुए हैं। यहां तक कि इतने बड़ी मात्रा में शिक्षण संस्थान खोले गए हैं जो सामाजिक सरोकारों से, संस्कारों से और ज्ञानों से जुड़ी हुई है। आप उठाकर हर आंकड़ों को देखिए, चाहे वह सड़क का निर्माण हो, चाहे दूरसंचार के टावर का निर्माण हो, चाहे विद्यालयों का निर्माण हो, चाहे उस प्रकार की जितनी भी अवसंरचनाएं हैं, उसका निर्माण यह दर्शाती है कि हम आर्थिक विकास भी कर रहे हैं, वहां संरचनात्मक विकास भी हो रहा है, आर्थिक उन्नति भी हो रही है, शिक्षा के क्षेत्र में प्रगति भी हो रही है और सामाजिक वातावरण में शांति की व्यवस्था भी स्थापित हो रही है।
धन्यवाद। माननीय प्रकाश जावड़ेकर जी।
सर, देश के लिए एक महत्वपूर्ण प्रश्न है और उसमें 2014 पर कितना बढ़ोतरी हो रहा था, अब कितना कमी आई है, मंत्री जी ने बताया है। मेरा सवाल यह है कि ऐसी हिंसा के जो संगठन चलते हैं उसका ओवरग्राउंड सपोर्ट होता है और उसको आर्म्स सप्लाईज होते हैं, तो ये आर्म्स सप्लाईज और ओवरग्राउंड सपोर्ट रोकने के लिए क्या कदम उठाए?
धन्यवाद।
थोड़ा माननीय प्रकाश जावड़ेकर जी से हम चाहेंगे कि इस प्रश्न को थोड़ा सा और एक बार मैंने बताने की कृपा करेंगे। तो
कोई भी नक्सलवादी या माओवादियों की जो कार्रवाई होती है हिंसा की, उसके आर्म्स सप्लाई जो होता है वो एक महत्वपूर्ण कड़ी है। उसको प्रतिबंध करने के लिए क्या किया है? और ओवरग्राउंड सपोर्ट होता है, शहर में बैठे हैं, बाकी जगह बैठे हैं,
धन्यवाद,
और उसको सपोर्ट करते हैं, उसको रोकने के लिए क्या किया?
ब्रीफली जवाब दें माननीय मंत्री जी।
जब सरकार द्वारा राष्ट्रीय नीति और कार्य योजना जो बनाई गई है उसमें समग्रता है। जो भी माओवादियों के पास से जो भी हथियार बरामद किए जाते हैं या उसके रोकने के लिए जो उपाय है, बड़ी तत्परता से राज्य के साथ समन्वय करके केंद्र सरकार ऑपरेशनों को प्रभावी बनाते हैं और उस ऑपरेशन के माध्यम से जो हथियार आते हैं उसको सीज करती है, और सीज जब हम करते हैं तो उसको, और एनआईए का जो गठन हुआ है उस प्रकार के स्वभाव के या माओवादियों के इस प्रकार के गंभीर केसों को हम एनआईए को देते हैं। यूएपीए एक्ट के तहत इस पर हम कार्रवाई करते हैं, जिस एक्ट को सशक्तिकरण किया गया है। और जहां तक अर्बन नक्सल की बात, गतिविधियों की करते हैं, जिसको हम तो अर्बन नक्सल का शब्द नहीं, हम तो जब हम वामपंथी उग्रवाद की बात करते हैं तो शहर हो या कहीं हो, हम उस पर, उसकी गतिविधियों पर नजर रखते हैं, उस पर हम कड़ी कार्रवाई करते हैं। और एलडब्ल्यू प्रभावित क्षेत्र में जो केंद्रीय सशस्त्र पुलिस बल की तैनाती की जाती है उसका चार्ज समान रूप से तैनाती चार्ज की गुना में केवल 10% ही है, इसलिए वह कोई बड़ा आंकड़ा नहीं है। जिसमें बाहरी आक्रमण, देश की सुरक्षा जैसे बड़े कर्तव्य भी शामिल है, उसमें उसको हम बड़ा प्रभावी ढंग से लागू करते हैं। केंद्र सरकार राज्यों की कई योजनाओं के माध्यम से समर्थन प्राप्त करता है, जिससे राज्यों की सुरक्षा संबंधी व्यय तथा सुरक्षा तंत्र को हम मजबूत करने के लिए फंड्स प्रदान करती है। 4824 करोड़ रुपए के अधिक फंड केंद्र सरकार द्वारा पिछले 5 वर्षों में
ब्रीफली प्लीज
5 वर्षों में प्रभावित राज्यों को SCA, SRE तथा SIS योजना के तहत दिए गए हैं। हम इसकी बात इसलिए करते हैं कि जब चाहे वह आर्म्स की बात हो, चाहे उस पर नियंत्रण की बात हो, चाहे उस पर कार्रवाई की बात हो, उसको हम प्रभावी ढंग से हम राज्यों के साथ,
मैं दूसरा सवाल कर रहा हूँ,
विभिन्न योजनाओं
माननीय मंत्री जी
के साथ हम उसको,
धन्यवाद। प्लीज पुनः मैं आग्रह करना चाहूंगा माननीय सदस्य और मंत्रियों से कि आप अगर ब्रीफली उत्तर नहीं देंगे तो सवाल आगे नहीं बढ़ सकते। प्लीज। क्वेश्चन नंबर 82 श्रीमती रूपा गांगुली। श्रीमती रूपा गांगुली एब्सेंट। माननीय मंत्री जी लोकसभा, अच्छा प्लीज माननीय मंत्री जी फर्स्ट सप्लीमेंट्री रूपा जी।
Honorable Chairman, answer given by the Honorable Minister is pretty clear and elaborate. बीच में एक चीज मैं बोलना चाहूंगी, एक क्वेश्चन सिस्टम का थोड़ा सा बदलना पड़ेगा। 15-20 दिन पहले से जवाब क्वेश्चन जमा करने का कोई मतलब नहीं बनता आजकल लगता है। सर एक चीज है, I have a little suggestion as well as a question.
सवाल not suggestion please रूपा जी।
Yes sir, yes sir, yes sir. एक तो क्वेश्चन है जैसे नॉर्मल चीज होते हैं, स्कूल के बाहर जो बच्चे को भर्ती करने और वापस ले जाने के लिए जो पेरेंट बैठे रहते घंटों भर, उनके वहां कुछ एक ट्रेनिंग सिस्टम या कुछ वॉलंटरी सिस्टम किया जा सकता है जहां पे गार्जियंस को इन्वॉल्व किया जाए। जैसे एप्टीट्यूड टेस्ट है, स्किल टेस्ट है, मेमोरी टेस्ट है, कुछ लोग नाउन ज्यादा याद नहीं रख सकते, कुछ लोग नंबर्स बहुत ज्यादा याद रखते हैं, तो ऐसे कुछ चीजें जैसे अलर्टनेस टेस्ट, ये सारे टेस्ट अगर हम डालें और पेरेंट टीचर कम्युनिकेशन
सवाल ब्रीफली पूछे।
Whether the government is considering to utilize the guardians as a participant, you know, in educational institutions.
Whether you have any question or not, Rupa ji.
Yeah, I've said the question.
Please put your question. Otherwise, I'll move to other MPs.
I've given the question, sir.
Please.
Whether government is considering to utilize the guardians' productivity and utilizing in educational institutions.
Thank you.
महोदय, माननीय सदस्य ने जब हमारे राष्ट्रीय शिक्षा नीति इम्प्लीमेंटेशन का समय में उन्होंने एक अच्छा सोच बताया, तो हमारे जो देश के स्वाधीन होने के बाद 73 इयर्स लग गया कॉलोनियल जो एजुकेशन सिस्टम उसको चेंज करने के लिए। माननीय प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी के नेतृत्व में हम नया शिक्षा नीति नेशनल एजुकेशन पॉलिसी 2020 लॉन्च किया, और इसके तहत इसमें जो पैरा 2.7, पैरा 2.9, पैरा 3.6, पैरा 3.7, इसमें जो एसेंस है, हमारे प्रधानमंत्री जी ने पहले से ही जो देश को आगे बढ़ने के लिए सबका साथ, सबका विकास और सबका विश्वास, ये जो स्लोगन दिए थे, उसके बाद ये आज़ादी का अमृत महोत्सव पर सबका प्रयास ये भी जोड़ दिया। तो इसमें हम लोग जो गार्जियंस जो बैठे हैं, इसके हम लोग एक विद्यांजलि एक पोर्टल बनाया है। ये विद्यांजलि पोर्टल में जो स्कूल्स वो भी रजिस्टर करेंगे और जो सारे गार्जियन सलामनी वो भी रजिस्टर करते हैं। हम सदन को बता के तो मैंने भी खुश होंगे। अभी स्कूल्स 1,23,868 स्कूल ने रजिस्टर किया। अभी वॉलंटियर्स 16,686 रजिस्टर्ड किया और जो स्कूल्स चिल्ड्रन इम्पैक्टेड वो भी 11,644।
Thank you. Second supplementary, Rupaji.
Yeah.
Question, second supplementary.
Yes, sir. मॉरल एजुकेशन में ये घर और स्कूल्स के एक साथ डेवलपमेंट के लिए कैसे कैसे क्या क्या किया जाए और थोड़ा सा इलैबोरेटली बोलिए।
थैंक यू।
मॉरल एजुकेशन में हम बहुत सारे स्टेप्स अकॉर्डिंग टू एनईपी लिए हैं। इसमें जो है हमारे करिकुलम में क्रिटिकल थिंकिंग, एथिकल रीजनिंग, ट्रेडिशनल इंडियन वैल्यूज, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल वैल्यूज। कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल वैल्यूज मीन्स इसमें सेवा है, अहिंसा है, स्वच्छता, सत्य, निष्काम कर्म, शांति, सैक्रिफाइस, टॉलरेंस, ऐसे बहुत कुछ है। प्लूरलिज्म, राइटियस कंडक्ट, जेंडर सेंसिटिविटी, रिस्पेक्ट फॉर एल्डर्स, रिस्पेक्ट फॉर ऑल पीपल, ये सारे करिकुलम में है। हमारे एनसीईआरटी ने बहुत सारे किताबें बनाए। हम पहले जो नैतिक शिक्षा नीति एक सब्जेक्ट के रूप में देखते थे, अभी हमारे होल स्कूल अप्रोच हो गया। सबके अंदर ये नैतिकता, मॉरल एजुकेशन रहेगा।
धन्यवाद। माननीय श्री जवाहर सरकार जी।
So the honourable member had asked a very specific question. Is there a moral education course or not? There's a lot of complicated reply with a lot of information that has come in, but the question is not answered. The first reference is to the National Curriculum Framework in 2005. As you know, that framework talks about human rights, justice, tolerance.
Question, please. Please, question.
They talk about virtues that we seem to have forgotten. That's my first submission. And during that phase, 2000 phase, certain textbooks did mention moral education. But whether they are in use, because the NCERT produces a lot of books, whether they are in use is not stated. Then we come to the next one.
Sir, please put your one question.
The question is,
yes.
let him come up and say.
Yes, please.
In the end, the question is passed on to the state saying this is a concurrent subject. The question that was asked was a very pointed and a very direct one. Let him say that we are having moral education course, because moral education is a very flexible term. Intolerance can also be a moral education,
please.
Whatever can be. We are doing this on the basis of such and such values in such and such place. बाद में भी जवाब दे सकते हैं, ऐसी क्या?
Please, thank you.
Mahoday, I would like to remember the honorable member that what he told, that was in the paper only, that was not executed till now. But our government, what has done, that is being executed, and that I would like to speak, that moral education is in all aspects of the curriculum. It is in all the curriculum across all textbooks and subjects. And there are so many things. Yes, I can show you. This is so many things, not in the books. It is being inculcated in all schools, even in the UGC guidelines to the higher education also. Everybody will follow it in practical.
Thank you. माननीय जुगल सिंह लोखंडवाला।
धन्यवाद उपसभापति महोदय। मेरा आपके माध्यम से माननीय मंत्री जी से प्रश्न है कि आईटी का जो अभी टेक्नोलॉजी का जमाना है, तो प्राथमिक विद्यालय के बच्चों के लिए आईटी का इंफॉर्मेशन टेक्नोलॉजी का कोई सब्जेक्ट या तो उनको पढ़ाने के लिए कोई प्रावधान है?
देखिए, हमारे नई शिक्षा नीति में जो हमने सोचा, दिस इज द फाउंडेशन लिटरेसी एंड न्यूमरेसी, दैट इज इन द, एंड देन द प्रिपरेटरी, naturally, in the digital education, we will, whenever the digital education course will be in the schools, and definitely all the arrangements will be there.
Thank you. Mani Trichu Shivaji.
Sir, this is a matter of great concern. That the deterioration in the society is only because of lack of moral education at primary school levels. Sir, the National Curriculum Framework 2005 and the New Education Policy 2020 only sets the guidelines and direction for framework of syllabus. So the question is whether there is a defined syllabus at primary school levels. The reply states that most of the majority of the schools comes under the state government, since it's concurrent list. Because it's concurrent list, many things are imposed by the union government on the states also, like NEET examination. I would like to know, sir, what is the status of moral education in the CBSE syllabus, and whether any direction has been given to dedicate as 1 hour or 1 period at least in a week for moral education. It was like those in those earlier days. Only that will bring that, whether the government has a proposal for that.
Thank you. Manya Mantri ji.
Honorable member has expressed his thought rightly. But the previous question I have already answered that our approach is not subject specific, it is a whole school approach. In all the subjects, yes, it is that in the whole school approach. That means no, you cannot. The member could not understand because he is on that frame. Because whenever a teacher will come, his approach will be on that. And the school, home, parents, society. Please. It's more than one. This hour has been fixed. How many hours will be? That has been fixed. According to CBSE guidelines and UGC, they have fixed the guidelines for moral education in 1 year. How many hours? It has been fixed.
Thank you.
In the both from the CBSE side and from the UGC side. Yes, it has been fixed.
Thank you. Question number 83, Mani Shri MB Shriyans Kumar. Yes, please. Honorable Minister, Mani Mantri ji.
Well, Chairman, the statement is laid on the table of the House.
First supplementary, Mani.
So there are so many NGOs and voluntary organizations working in the drug addiction field and government-sponsored program on various institutions. But still drug abuse is spreading in a big way, sir. So many cases have been filed by narcotic department. Will the government try and find more effective ways to deal with the problem?
Mani Mantri ji, please.
Sir, in a way, whether the survey is conducted before the national survey in the pattern substance used in the 2018, sir, the survey's pattern trends and substance use of committed by the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment for the collaborate with the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime was conducted 2004, sir. The household survey was comprehensive and study report that was prevails current use of alcohol 21%, sir. Cannabis is 3%, sir. Amphetamines is 7%, sir. Among men and age 60 years, among the current users, about 26 school alcohol users were reported to be dependent, sir. While 25% cannabis use.
Please. Please, I have already explained the process. If you are not satisfied with the answer, please follow that.
Yes, we have taken so many steps, sir. We have started, we have Navchetana models, how we will generate awareness regarding effective substance abuse, sir. We have done number of Nasha Mukta Bharat Abhiyans in the country, sir. We have some Navchetana program for the school children between the age of 11, 18 years, teachers-led intervention, sir. Navchetana one-day awareness generation, the preventive education programs, school children at class between 6th and 8th, sir. The program for the awareness to follow up the schools, children from the class.
Time is over. Now this is discussed. Budget discussed. Mr. Muhammad Abdullah, please continue. Please continue. Please continue. Please continue your speech.
Thank you, Deputy Chairman, sir. Sir, the time was allotted 15 minutes for me. But yesterday, when I was in my 10th minute, it was interrupted. So today I need 3 minutes more, sir. Today 2-3 more minutes. Sir, the budget imposes 30% tax on the transaction of cryptocurrency, sir. To note here, the cryptocurrencies are not yet legalized in this country, but the taxation states that it is legal only by paying tax. It is still illegal, but it tells if you pay the tax, it will become legal. Though it is become legal, there is no regulatory body for cryptocurrency. Still, there is no any regulatory body cryptocurrency. Yesterday also I asked another one thing. You can sell the drugs which is illegal. Sir, please order in the house, sir.
Sir, house order.
Please, आपस महेश पोदार, please आपस में बात न करें.
Yesterday also I asked, sir.
Please.
We can sell the drugs which is illegal. If you pay a tax, it will become legal. But there is no any regulatory body. Do you find any difference between these two, sir? Selling the drugs and cryptocurrency, tax on cryptocurrency. Is there any system that exists in the world like this, sir? There is a practice of taxing legalized system across the world. I mean, whether any tax is implemented, it comes along with an act. It comes along with an act. Any tax implemented, it comes along with an act. Even some acts may be implemented without the tax components. For instance, I like to remind from the past the Salt Tax an act with the tax component and the Self-Respect Marriage of Tamil Nadu an act without the tax component. But for the first time ever in the history of the world, sir, the first time ever in the history of the world, our union government is there to enforce the tax without any act. There is no act for any such act for the cryptocurrency, but tax is there. Yeah. Also one thing, sir. I am amazed to see the financial advisors of this union government, who are the world foremost sages. This is because they advised that sanitary napkins should be taxed at 12%, but for diamond it has been reduced to 5%. My friend Priyanka Chaudhary is there, Mausam Noor madam is there, Madam Rajini is there. You ask any of them, which is the important for a girl? It is a sanitary napkin or a diamond? Which is the important for one? Lakhs and crores of our sisters in this country, they are badly needed and they are unable to buy a single pack. But the 12% of the tax has been imposed on that. Honorable Sir, the stepmotherly treatment of Tamil Nadu and the Tamilians by the union government stands exposed again in this budget. One of the long-standing demands from the Delta district of Pudukkottai is the opening of a new railway line to Thanjavur from Pudukkottai. The survey, which has been completed and submitted by the British just before independence. This government has failed to take concrete steps to take the Delta district of Tamil Nadu into confidence, and this is evident not only in the railways department, but also by the ghost of the hydrocarbon projects, which is still hunt the farmers. Hundreds and thousands of people from Tamil Nadu cutting across caste and religion have contributed not just to the nation, but to the entire world. The union government is acting with a vendetta against us. Sir, due to the paucity of time, I am now in the last part of my speech. To sum up, presenting a budget, especially in the midst of an economic crisis, it is an opportunity to communicate a government vision for the country. This budget fails to do and is completely disconnected from the ground reality. Instead of tackling the problems at hand, the union government is diverting attention away by feigning to plan India at 100. The budget did not have any mention of the increasing problem of inequality that the country is facing now. Also, it is not focused on two of the country's most pressing problems, the unemployment and the crisis affecting agriculture and the informal sector. Also, it is a fact that a few billionaires and a few large companies have benefited greatly, multiplying their profitability and assets. Even as a pandemic has devastated the lives of hundreds of millions. The Oxfam reports reveals that 80% of households in the country suffered a decline in their income in the year marked by the tremendous loss of life and livelihoods, whereas on the other side, the number of Indian billionaires grew from 102 to 142. This remains one of the popular saying about the budget. I don't read the budget, but anyway, you can say the poorer are let down, the salaried class is hit hard, and the budget is sell out to the rich. The rich get richer and the poor get poorer. What else happened when the tax on diamonds are reduced by 5% and corporate surcharge is reduced to 7%, while the tax on umbrellas are increased by 20%. Tax on umbrella is increased by 20%. The government should adequately tax the corporate in such dire time and generate money from social security. It is the duty of the government to take care of its citizens. Our DMK party leader and Tamil Nadu Chief Minister, Sri MK, said, after tackling charge as a CM, he said, he was elected to be the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, not just for the people who voted for DMK. Likewise, I pray the union government to run a government not for its corporate paymasters, but for each and every citizen of India. History will judge you for your action. History will judge you only by your actions. I pray the government and Honorable Prime Minister to follow very famous quote by Peraringer Anna while working for the people. நாடு என்பது வெறும் பூகோள படமல்ல. நாடு என்பது வெறும் பூகோள படமல்ல. அங்கு வாழுகின்ற மக்களின் உணர்ச்சிகளின் தொகுப்பு. The meaning is, the country is not just a geographical map. The country is not just a geographical map. It is the emotional sum of the people who lives there. So I kindly request the government to consider it. The union government should keep it in mind that the emotion and aspirations of its citizens and should take commensurate steps in the direction to develop both the country and its citizens. I once again thank the leader of my party and the Honorable Chairman for allowing me to take part in this debate on the Union Budget 22-23. Honorable Vice Chairman, sir, I conclude. Thank you.
Thank you, Mohammed Abdullah ji. Now I request Dr. Amar Patnaik.
Thank you, sir. Sir, I would like to begin by quoting Joseph Stiglitz, the Nobel Prize winning economist, who said that the world is facing three existential crises. One, inequality. Second, climate change. And third, democracy, crisis of confidence in our political and economic institutions. He goes on to say that what we measure affects what we do. And if we measure the wrong thing, we will do the wrong thing. If we focus only on material well-being, on say whether the production of goods rather than on health, education and the environment, we become distorted in the same way that these measures are distorted. We become more materialistic. So even though the GDP is not designed to measure the well-being of people, it is basically designed to find out the producing economic growth, the pattern of spending on goods and services. And therefore, if we want to put people as the first, we have to move beyond GDP, what Stiglitz is saying, what Amartya Sen has said, and many other economists are saying. Sir, I would like to use this framework in analyzing the budget. So first I will start with climate change. So on energy transition and climate action, this budget devotes about 8 paragraphs. I must compliment the Honorable Finance Minister for bringing the focus on climate action and climate change, which was one of the existential crises pointed out and flagged by Joseph Stiglitz. The budget talks about co-firing 5 to 7% biomass, swapping of batteries, green bonds for generating resources for funding this climate change. It talks about a low carbon strategy in the longer run for the economy. It talks about green energy and clean mobility systems as sunrise opportunities. It also talks about circular economy. So there are 3 things important when we talk about climate change, climate action. One is the mitigation measures, the second is the adaptation measures, And third, very important, is measurement, performance, accounting for it. Sir, in the budget, while speaking about all these things, giving a clear direction for the country, as far as climate change is concerned, which is really commendable, unfortunately, only rupees 3,030 crore has been earmarked for Ministry of Environment, which is 20% higher than the last year's allotment, but only 0.012% of India's total GDP. The commitment also has to come by matching allotments in the relevant heads of account. The biodiversity has been flagged as an enabling asset. I do agree, all the House would agree. However, the amount is only rupees 8.5 crore, less by 3.5 crore. As per the Economic Survey 2020-21, India's climate action funding has so far been met domestically. But for meeting the COP26 commitments, we need $1 trillion of money. $1 trillion US dollars of money. Therefore, my suggestion to the Honorable Finance Minister is that we need to incentivize private investment in the clean energy trajectory by having a national adaptation investment fund, and which is very transparently set up. Currently it is there, but the private sector's investment is not there so far. We need to encourage private sector to invest in adaptation finance, adaptation projects, and most importantly, India as a whole has to spend money on climate resilient development pathways, which Honorable Chief Minister of Orissa has been saying that we need to have a long-term strategy for disaster management in the eastern coast of India, which is generally ravaged by cyclones at regular intervals, and a huge amount of money goes. Sir, I would like to say why it is important. So it is important because the FAO's report says that during the 2003 to 13 period, the climate-related economic loss to humanity was of the order of US $1.5 trillion. And all of us know that it is the poor who are disproportionately affected by any kind of climate change, and therefore by giving emphasis on climate, the budget has done the right thing. However, as I said, it is very important to bring it into our budget, into our mainstreaming, into our figures. Orissa is the first state in the country, under the able leadership of Honorable Chief Minister, we prepared the first climate budget, and probably the only state which has done so far in last year in 2020-21. Similar thing needs to be done at the Government of India level. Sir, what is good for the goose is not good for the gander. The word capital is not good for Marxian political scientists, but capital is good for public financial specialists and economists. Similarly, what is good for top 1% of the population may not be good for the bottom 50% of the population. What we see in the 2022-23 budget is an overabundance of capital expenditure, technology, and I spoke about climate action, ease of doing business, which will all have positive impact on the economy. However, there is an undernourishment of health, education, rural economy, farmers' welfare, women and child, and of the states themselves. Sir, the budget has betted heavily on capital expenditure last year, last to last year, and even the current year. It is a supply-side solution. But I would like to state and make a case whether it has worked, so far. In India, the multiplier effect by the central government of capital expenditure is 2.45. For the states, it is 2.0. This is assessed by RBI as well as by the National Institute of Public Finance and Policy. They have mentioned it in 2014 report, RBI Bulletin 2020 report. So a rupees 1 crore investment is supposed to generate much more than 1 crore increase in GDP. However, this multiplier effect, has it worked? Now it should convert itself in terms of generating fixed capital investment. So what we see, the gross fixed capital formation has decreased from 34.3% in 2011-12 to 26.6% in 2021. It has decreased from 34.3% to 26.6% as per the first revised estimates. So the one-dimensional track of completely putting all the eggs in the basket of capital expenditure may not work. I'll give you another figure. The private final consumption, which accounts for 55 to 56% of the GDP, is growing only at 5%. The manufacturing sector contributing 17% to the GDP, the employment in that sector has reduced by half during 2016-17 to 2021. It is the SEDA CMI bulletin. So there are two concerns about capital expenditure, two primary concerns. One is what is called as the hurdle rate, the cost of finance. Unless the internal rate of return is more than the cost of finance, nobody would come to invest. And that is what has happened. The IRR on a global range is between 8 to 12%. In India, it is only 6 to 8%. Therefore, PPP mode projects will have problems unless the cost of borrowing goes down. Something has to be done about cost of capital in this country. Not now, it has not happened before. I think a signal has to come from government at some time. So now I want to talk about the time lag, the time delays. So according to the Ministry of Surface Transport, MOSPI, it is in their database. December 2021, as of December 2021, out of 1,673 total projects, 25%, approximately 445, have incurred a cost overrun. 557, that is 30%, are delayed with an average time run of 45.69 months. So where does the multiplier effect come in? The multiplier effect gets delayed. The trickle down gets delayed. The wage creation at the bottom of the pyramid gets delayed. And that is what has happened in the private, that is what has happened so far for not being able to generate the gross fixed capital formation. And this has resulted in what we have discussed so far. Many members have discussed, and therefore I am not going to discuss about unemployment. What about the social sector? I said it is undernourished. Out of 21 primary sectors, I do not take the total allocation as a percentage of the total budgeted BE this year, but I'm taking it as a percentage of the GDP. Out of 21 sectors, in 8 sectors it has decreased as a percentage of GDP compared to last year. In 8 sectors there are no change. In 5 sectors it is marginal increase to the extent of 0.1%. Therefore there is nothing which has happened in the social sector. Then how do you create a level playing field? In the entire budget, one has talked about opportunities to be given, opportunities being created, and we know opportunities can be created only when we spend on such things like health and education. I will talk about these two things, health and education now. Now, as far as health is concerned, the budget started with health, and I thought that the allocations would have become astoundingly high. Currently, if we look at the allocations in health, it is 0.33% of the GDP, which is less than the last year and less than or even almost equal to the last year before last. We currently have 1 bed per 1,000 people against global average of 2.9. We are lower than even the BRIC countries. We have 1 doctor per 1,500 when the requirement is per 1,000. We have 1 nurse for 670 when the requirement is 1 nurse per 300 as per the 15th Finance Commission report. So the investment in health is definitely required. I look forward to it, and I think there is still some way in which we have to get investment into the health sector in this country, particularly the primary healthcare sector. The Standing Committee had also suggested investment in primary healthcare to be requiring a push. a definitive push. Now I talk about agriculture. Now, if I talk about agriculture, I would like to say that unless the Swaminathan Committee report is implemented as has been demanded by Honorable Chief Minister of Orissa several times, the farmers' income probably cannot get doubled. In fact, the budget doesn't talk about doubling of farmers' income as of 2022 at all. The procurement has decreased from 126 to 120.8 metric ton. Number of farmers who have been benefited has decreased from 19.7 million to 16.3 million. The reduction in the price support schemes, which does the procurement, is to the extent of about 62%. At a time when we are talking about empowering the farmers, increasing their income, the procurement allocation has come down, and it is a matter of concern. What is also a matter of concern is the fact that agricultural investment fund, in which 1 lakh crore was supposed to be spent in 6 years, after 2 years, the spending is 6,627 crore only, that is approved. Spending is a mere 2.6%, 2,654 crore. So at the rural economy level, at the agriculture level, there is tremendous amount of distress.
Please
so
conclude, Dr. Ji.
Finally, I will end by talking about...
Your last minute.
1 minute, yeah. Finally, I'll talk about federal equity. Now, if we talk about federal equity, the amount of resource allocation to the states, as Honorable Prime Minister said yesterday, it is in the states' development that the development of the country can take place. But what has happened that the percentage of devolution to the state as a percentage of total gross tax revenue has declined from 30.02% to 29.61%. And the quantum of cess, however, which is completely appropriated by the center, has increased from 3.7 lakh crores to 4.45 lakh crores. I can tell you, since I do not have the time, that if you do a calculation of the cess and surcharge which was levied on education and health, one in 2004-05, the other in 2018, and take that allocation out of the current allocation, then you find an abysmal figure as the percentage of investment on education and health, which is a matter of worry.
Please conclude, sir.
My point of saying all this is that, Madam Finance Minister, that definitely there is growth in the economy, definitely there is a direction on climate change, there is a definite direction on using technology for giving benefits, which is very positive. But the problem is, all is still not well. It is not business as usual. The rural economy may not be under distress, but it is under stress. And therefore, the emphasis on rural economy in terms of NREGS, in terms of investment in agricultural investment fund, in terms of providing housing, has to continue. As far as housing is concerned, I must bring to the notice of this House that the Prime Minister, Honorable Prime Minister, said housing for all by 2022. Then why not to 8.5 lakh Udiyas? Let them be Lakhpatis. Let them be Lakhpatis. The figure, the prayer of the government of Orissa is pending for so long. So I would end once again by thanking the Prime Minister for the budget proposals, for giving a direction, and would request her to consider the suggestions given by me. Thank you so much.
The next speaker, Shri K.R. Suresh Reddy.
Thank you, Chair. So I rise to congratulate the Finance Minister on a 4th consecutive speech. A budget 4 in a row is a new mantra, as they say in cricket. 4 in a row is a new mantra. Hat-trick is over now. Anyone who bowls and takes 4 in a row is a sure match winner. I hope this would happen even here. But when I heard the Honorable Finance Minister's speech for 90 minutes, the only thing confident I could see was her delivering the speech. Today, with great and a heavy heart, I must tell the Finance Minister that her 90-minute speech has left 90 crore Indians out of her budget. I say this for the following reasons, sir. because this proclaimed progressive budget has alienated a majority of the poor people. I say this because agriculture, which is the backbone of our country, and Kisan, the ever-burden bearer, which constitutes 60% of the workforce agriculture, contributing 18% to GDP, and out of which, in the entire agriculture, 82% of them are small and marginal farmers, having small holdings of 1 to 5 acres. This Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav and entering into Amrit Kal without tangible progressive opportunities to farmers is regressive and Rahu Kal for them. Para 28 of the budget speech of the finance minister mentions about the rice and wheat procurement. उसमें बड़े जोर से मैडम ने बताया कि 2,37 लाख करोड़ हमने डायरेक्ट पेमेंट किया 163 लाख फार्मर्स को। जब ये बात आई तो मैं नोटिस किया सर हाउस में कि तालियां कम बजे, उसमें तालियां सिर्फ मैडम के लेफ्ट साइड से थोड़ा बहुत बचा, मगर ओवरऑल हाउस में वो मूड नहीं था। और उसकी वजह ये मैं समझता हूं कि ये साल 2022 was the year of the promise. The promise was to double the farmers' income. इसका मतलब ये है कि तालियां ज्यादा बजते थे अगर आपके अनाउंसमेंट में इंस्टेड ऑफ 2,37 लाख करोड़ अगर आप बताते कि हमने 4,74 लाख करोड़ हमने किसानों को ट्रांसफर किया, तो बात होती थी कि भाई हमारा इनकम डबल हुआ। मगर आप ये बात को मानने को तैयार नहीं है, डबल करने की इच्छा नहीं दिख रही आपके पॉलिसीज में, तो छोटा मोटा चॉकलेट की तरह कुछ पॉलिसीज बताते रहते हैं आप। फॉर एग्जाम्पल आपका प्राइम मिनिस्टर किसान प्रोग्राम, तो उसमें आप बताए कि हम 70,000 करोड़ फार्मर्स को जो है सो हम बांटे, और इसको कहते हैं डबलिंग द इनकम तो नहीं होता, ये अश्योर्ड इनकम है। अगर आप 4 लाख, जैसे मैं बताया 4,74,000 में आप ये 2,37 लाख करोड़ आप बचाए क्योंकि डबल नहीं किए, और ये 2,37 लाख करोड़ में आपका 70,000 भी अगर हम निकालते हैं तो फिर भी आज ये गवर्नमेंट 1,67,000 करोड़ आप एमएसपी फार्मर इनकम डबल ना करने से सरकार ने ये पैसे बचा लिया है। सर अगर आप कहते हैं कि भाई एमएसपी हम तो कुछ बढ़ाते गए, तो आप देखिए एग्रीकल्चर का जो इनपुट होता है किसान का, वो भी वही अंदाज से और ज्यादा अंदाज से बढ़ गया है। आप इसके साथ साथ प्रोक्योरमेंट में 10,000 करोड़ इस साल आप कम कर चुके हैं। आपका रीसेंट प्रोक्योरमेंट पॉलिसी जो हमको तेलंगाना एक उदाहरण है कि पैडी प्रोक्योरमेंट में किसान को, तेलंगाना सरकार को कितने कठिनाइयां आपने करवाया कि भाई वी हैड टू कम विद अ बेगिंग बोल, चीफ मिनिस्टर हैड टू कम, रिक्वेस्ट द गवर्नमेंट, plead in the government. Half the cabinet was here, entire MPs were camping here, most of the MLAs were here, just requesting the government कि भाई आप हमारा प्रोड्यूस लेंगे नहीं लेंगे, रबी में आप लेंगे नहीं लेंगे। तो आपका पॉलिसी इतना वेग है कि हमने पूछा कि रबी का प्रोक्योरमेंट आप लेंगे, तो आपने बताया कि आज नहीं, हम मार्च में करेंगे अनाउंसमेंट। जब किसान का काम शुरू होता है दिसंबर में, आप मार्च में बताने की बात, ये आपका किस तरीके से आपका पॉलिसी है, किस तरीके से किसान खेती को आप देखते। एक छोटा सा मिसाल है, ये कोई स्विगी सर्विस नहीं है कि जब भूख लगा जब खाना मंगाया आप, क्योंकि किसान को तो टाइम लगता है। ये दिसंबर से लेके मार्च अप्रैल तक ये काम चलते रहती है, और उसका जो है सो आई फील वेरी अनफॉर्चुनेट कि भाई इसमें किसान को ये तकलीफ उठाना पड़ा। सब एक असेसमेंट हुआ था, सिचुएशंस असेसमेंट सर्वे ऑफ फार्मर्स, उन्होंने बताया कि आज के हालात में जो खेतीबाड़ी करता है उसका 40% आमदनी और कम होते ही जा रही है। और देखिए लाठी पे लाठी किसान पे, इसके साथ साथ और क्या हो रहा है, आपका फर्टिलाइजर सब्सिडी आप कम कर दिए, आप करीबन 35 to 40,000 करोड़ आप इस बजट में कम कर चुके हैं, इसमें किसान की तकलीफ और बढ़ेगी। फूड सब्सिडी आपने 80,000 करोड़ कम करे, सेंट्रल मार्केट इंटरवेंशन स्कीम जो करीबन 3,596 करोड़ का था उसको आप कम करके 1,500 करोड़ पे लाए, क्रॉप इंश्योरेंस आपने करीबन 16,000 करोड़ से 15,000 करोड़ पे लाए, प्राइस स्टेबलाइजेशन फंड 2,700 करोड़ से 1,500 करोड़ तक लाए, और इवन रिसर्च, एग्रीकल्चर रिसर्च पे सिर्फ 500 करोड़ लगाए ताकि मल्टीनेशनल कंपनीज लाइक बेयर दे टेंड टू स्पेंड मोर, सर।
Reddy ji, your last minute.
I'm already the last.
No. Yes. Your party has given you 8 minutes.
और 5 मिनट है, सर।
8 minutes. You have completed.
No, 12 minutes I was told, sir.
No. 8 minutes is given and 7 minutes is over.
Sir.
Second speaker is not speaking. He is speaking.
Then it is okay.
So what is my entire time now, sir?
Now another 8 minutes you have.
Another 8 minutes. Thank you, sir. Sir, इसके साथ साथ मनरेगा का डिमांड बढ़ रहा है, बट आपका बजट एलोकेशंस कम हो रहे हैं साहब। आप डिमांड ड्रिवन बोल रहे हैं, जब डिमांड ड्रिवन है तो जो ग्रामीण लेबर है उनको विश्वास, कॉन्फिडेंस क्यों नहीं बिल्ड करते? जब 1,11,000 करोड़ खर्च हुआ था 2 years बैक, तो आप बताइए इस साल भी हम आपके साथ ठहरेंगे। कम करते जा रहे हैं कि उस पर ज्यादा भरोसा मत करो, हो सकता है आपके कुछ कारण हो सकते हैं आपका, मगर मैं ये कहना चाह रहा हूं कि the sheer unemployment pressure in the rural India will force and compel the government to increase the allocation. अगर आपका दिल नहीं मानता बढ़ाने के लिए, मगर वहां की जरूरतें आपको मजबूर करेगा कि आप बढ़ाना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि इसके अलावा आपके पास कुछ और है ही नहीं इस पे। सर, there was some apprehensions in the government कि भाई ये misuse हो रहा है and it needs to be revamped, या एसेट क्रिएशन ठीक नहीं हो रहा। पहले से करीबन 5-6 साल से केसीआर साहब हमारे मुख्यमंत्री जी लगातार कहते आ रहे कि भाई इसको आप एग्रीकल्चर से जुड़ाइए, लिंकिंग अप विद एग्रीकल्चर विल क्रिएट सम रिलीफ फॉर द फार्मर, इट विल आल्सो इंश्योर कि आपका मिसयूज की जो आरोप है या एसेट क्रिएशन का जो डाउट है, ये सब अगर किसान के साथ आप मिलाएंगे तो ये सब ठीक होगा, क्योंकि किसान एक ईमानदार है, प्राण जाएगा पर वचन न जाएगा, तो ईमानदार रहेगा, आपका हर एक पैसे का हिसाब किताब आपको वो बताएगा। सो लिंक इट अप विद एग्रीकल्चर इज द रिक्वेस्ट सर। एग्रीकल्चर की प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी, अगर आपका इनकम डबल करना चाहते हैं तो इसकी ग्रोथ रेट 3.5% नहीं बल्कि 14% एग्रीकल्चर का रहना चाहिए। 14% हो रहा है। तेलंगाना इज एन लाइव एग्जाम्पल। Telangana agriculture is growing at 14%. Here, overall, it's going at 3.5%. And unless you bring it to a reasonable height, the doubling of incomes will only be a mirage, will only be a dream, sir. इसीलिए आज तेलंगाना में जो पहले तेलंगाना बनने से पहले आम लेबर किसान जो दुबई मस्कट नौकरी के लिए जाते थे वो सब वापस आ रहे, आज आराम से सुकून से उनकी खेती बाड़ी की काम हो रही है और गांव में बिल्कुल nice livelihood is given to them and a brotherhood is spreading, sir. So para 30 to 35 of the budget speech, the finance minister talks about a lot of private participation in agriculture, private agri-tech players, PPP mode, financial startups, money creation of unicorns. Going by our past experience, ये बातें देखे तो सुने तो हमको ये डर महसूस हो रहा है ऑनरेबल चेयर कि कहीं से ये 3 एग्रीकल्चर लॉस जो है कहीं बैकडोर एंट्री तो नहीं हो रहा है। तो इसीलिए दिस इज एन अप्रहेंशन वी नीड टू क्लियर, क्योंकि द स्लो रिकवरी इन कंजम्पशन is the reduced profitability of agriculture. We squeeze the reduced incomes and demand. The evidence is very clear. आज एग्रीकल्चर का प्रोड्यूस का जो परसेंटेज राइस है वो सिर्फ 5.2 है और अदर नॉन एग्रीकल्चर्स का 11.4% है। और ये मनरेगा का डिमांड बढ़ने का वजह ये है क्योंकि एग्रीकल्चर में मुनाफा नहीं है, एग्रीकल्चर लैंड ओनर भी लैंड लेबरर बन रहा है। दिस इज अ स्मॉल एग्जांपल। और मैं इस माध्यम से फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर से रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा कि आप इस देश को, you have to assure the country, you have to assure the farmers that MSP will remain. और इस आप आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव पर आप ये भी बताइए, आप कहीं आपके प्लान्स बताए, उसमें एक जो है सो MSP रहेगा and MSCP will continue to stay. Sir, after agriculture, the next biggest employment creator is MSME. और MSME के बारे में काफी बातचीत हो रही है. सिर्फ एक दो बात मैं यहाँ दौड़ाना चाहता हूँ कि भाई ये करीबन 6.3 करोड़ MSMEs इस देश में हैं और आप दो इसके ऊपर धक्के पे धक्के गिरे, एक मैन मेड और एक जो है सो नेचुरल कैलामिटी. मैन मेड था आपका डीमोनेटाइजेशन और आपका GST. आप देखिए MSME में डीमोनेटाइजेशन और GST के बाद करीबन 10,000 बिजनेस ओनर्स 2019 में सुसाइड करे और 11,716 suicides were committed in 2020. And the biggest impact of your demonetization as per RBI was on MSME was the demonetization. और आप जो भी remedial steps लिए हैं वो लेट थे और कम थे. अब आप पैंडेमिक के बाद आपने कुछ बताया कि भाई हम इंटरेस्ट लोन विदाउट कोलैटरल देने के वायदा किए, बट माय रिक्वेस्ट इज यू हैव टू लुक एट द वेवर ऑफ इंटरेस्ट. जब फैक्ट्रीज बंद थे, एक साल बंद थे, तो उनके ऊपर इंटरेस्ट जो है सो बढ़ते गया, वो आप निकाल दीजिए. और उनके ऊपर फिक्स्ड पावर कॉस्ट था, कारखाना चला या ना चला मगर उनका बिजली का बिल आते गया, वो उसको आप जो है सो ऑब्जर्व करिए. दिस विल बी सम रिलीफ. और MSME के साथ हॉस्पिटैलिटी सेक्टर में भी आपने ये बताया कि भाई हम कुछ पैसे देंगे. हॉस्पिटैलिटी सेक्टर ऑल्सो कंट्रीब्यूट्स अ लॉट टू द GDP, सो व्हाई डोंट यू टेक इट एज एन इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर. The facilities given to infrastructure, long-term learning, etc., should be given to these MSMEs as, to this hospitality sector, as you've been giving it to the other infrastructure sector. And the other key issue here in Madam Finance Minister's speech was an emphasis on digital, which is very good. Everything digital was a word which came up almost in all the pages. And we appreciate it. Definitely, we change with the times, and you have to. But my agony is, if the same analogy, if the same principle, if the same policy was adopted way back in 2014 or 2015, things would have been much, much better for the country. And a small example for that is the ITIR, the Information Technology Investment Region, which was sanctioned to Hyderabad. You kept it on hold. It was a major, major boost for the country. It was a very creative investment idea where, Chairman Sir, it would have fit into what you call it, your ecosystem, because Hyderabad was also a non-seismic region, less earthquakes. तो उससे अच्छे बड़ा जगह हैदराबाद की जगह बहुत कम है हिंदुस्तान में जहाँ ऐसे इंडस्ट्री सेट कर सकते हैं, मगर आप कुछ नहीं कर सके. ITIR में काफ़ी आपने लापरवाही की, उसकी वजह से करीबन 53 plus 15, almost 70 to 75 lakh jobs have been lost in the last 5-7 years. So this is something, and of course, not to mention about the revenue and other issues. So when yesterday the Prime Minister, when he mentioned about the bifurcation of AP and Telangana, probably this was something playing in his mind. This is what seems to be coming out, because what was mentioned by the Honorable Prime Minister yesterday, sir, it is something very, very disturbing for the people, because it is through a lot of struggle. One of the biggest struggles ever witnessed in the history of India was the bifurcation of Andhra Pradesh. Under the leadership of our Chief Minister, KCR Garu, we went through 14 years of struggle to eventually get it. Agar House mein Telangana ka bill pass hua, to pass hua, kyunki House is supreme. Nobody can question the authority of the House. Nobody can question the authority of the chair. Not even the Prime Minister can question the authority of this House, sir. But yesterday, he raised it. Agar aapko taklif hua, बाइफर्केशन में मैं पूछना चाह रहा हूं कि कितने बार वो रीऑर्गेनाइजेशन बिल यहाँ पे अमेंडमेंट को आया है? Did you make any amendments in the last 8 years? The demands from Telangana, the demands from Andhra are continuously coming up, but still you refuse to refer it. You refuse to chair even a single meeting. और वहां पे क्या हो रहा है, sir?
Please conclude, sir.
Sir, just 1 minute. So this is an important thing. I'll just 1 minute. So I'm concluding with one last thing. मैं तो काफी पूछते गया, तो एक छोटा सा मेरे को एक WhatsApp का फॉरवर्ड याद आता है कि एक नेता ने अपने दोस्तों को 8-10 लोगों को अपने घर पे चाय पे बुलाया और बोला भाई मेरे घर में सबसे अच्छा चाय बनती है। तो सबने गए 10 लोग उम्मीद में कि अच्छा चाय मिलेगा वहां, और जब घर गए और उनके बावर्ची को बोले भैया चाय बनाओ, तो उन्होंने कहा सब 130 सेकेंड्स और चीनी नहीं है, तो उन्होंने कहा कोई बात नहीं चाय लाओ, और चाय आ गया। तो वो नेता ने कहा देखो भाई ये स्पेशल चाय है मगर इसमें एक कप में चीनी नहीं है, शुगर नहीं है, जिसको भी वो कप आएगा वो सबको आज रात में भोजन पे ले जाएगा। तो 8-10 लोग जितने भी बैठे वो सब ने कहा कि बहुत अच्छा है, बहुत अच्छा है, किसी ने भी कम नहीं किया। तो मैं भी यही कहूंगा कि वेरी स्वीट बजट बट डू जस्टिस टू आवर रीजन। थैंक यू सो मच।
थैंक यू। द नेक्स्ट स्पीकर श्री विजय साई रेड्डी।
Thank you, Vice Chairman, sir. We should appreciate the Honorable Finance Minister for presenting this budget in most difficult and trying times. Initially, sir, we all thought that it would be, Honorable Finance Minister would submit the budget for UP and Punjab. However, as the budget speech of the Honorable Finance Minister went on, and it was nobody's budget, no one's budget. And I can confidently say that it is a stylish budget with no substance. I'm sorry to say that. Sir, to put it in a different words, it's a budget like an operation successful but patient is dead. This budget may be a good budget for the country according to the Honorable Finance Minister, but for AP it is bad and worst. Sir, my point is Atmanirbharata of the states. Honorable Finance Minister on several occasions talks about Atmanirbhar Bharat. But I am asking Madam, what is Atmanirbharata of the states? Not the center, not only the center. The center, according to me, and I'll give the statistics also, Vice Chairman, sir, using manipulative practices to reduce the share of state share of taxes from the central pool of taxes. Sir, center has deliberately I'm using the word, increasing the cess and surcharges in its gross tax revenues, which is not shared with the states. Sir, it has been brought down, the states' share has been brought down. In reality, though the 15th, according to the Honorable Finance Minister, the 15th Finance Commission has recommended 41%. In reality, the real percentage works out to 29%. I can give the figures also, sir. It is not 41%. It is because of cess and surcharges. And I'll give petrol as an example. The central government has collected 3.35 lakh crores by way of cess on petrol, shared just 5.8% of it, that is 19,475 crores with the states. What is shared with the states? In the case of petrol, is only 5.8%. Out of 100 rupees, 5 rupee 80 paisa. Sir, by increasing sir, Honorable Finance Minister has coined a special word, apart from cess and surcharge. Special additional excise duty. This is nothing but cess and surcharge. By increasing the special excise additional duty, nothing but cess, the center has pooled 2.87 lakh crores from which the states are not getting a single rupee, not a single rupee. This is the situation. Sir, the share of tax component in the excise duty, which is shared with the states, has decreased by 40% in the case of petrol and 59% in the case of diesel, sir. Sir, at present, I have a statistics which I would like to, Honorable Madam is present. Sir, in the case of petrol, let us presume that the cost of the petrol is 100 rupees for the sake of brevity. Basic price is 45 rupees. Basic excise duty is 1 rupee 40 paise. And special additional excise duty is 11 rupees. Out of 11 rupees, nothing goes to the state. Nothing. Not a single rupee. Road and infrastructure cess, 18 rupees. Nothing goes to the states. Agricultural infrastructure and development cess, 2 rupees 50 paisa. Nothing goes to the states. Dealers commission, of course it goes to the dealers. Taxes, whereas the states are empowered to levy VAT in the case of petrol and liquor. What is that? The maximum percentage any states can charge is only 10 to 15%. It varies from 10 to 15%. What is center getting? Central government is getting 85% and states are getting 15%. This is the justice what central government is rendering in the case of taxes, share of taxes. Sir, AP share in the divisible pool, I would like to share with the Honorable Madam. AP state, when compared to the divisible profits, AP share of taxes. In 13th Finance Commission, between 2010 and 2015, AP share is 6.9%. 14th Finance Commission, 2015 to 20, from 6.9% it has come down to 4.3%. It has come down by 2.6%. In 15th Finance Commission, it is 4.07% in 2000, whereas in the previous year, 2020-21, it was 4.111%. So year after year, Andhra Pradesh is getting, the share of taxes is coming down, and it is nothing but a stepmotherly treatment. Honorable Finance Minister is our daughter-in-law of our state. I want everybody to, all the honorable members to know about it. Sir, deciding the state share of taxes, there are certain points, that is population, forest cover, geographical area, there are various parameters. Quite surprisingly, 15% weightage is given for population. Andhra Pradesh is one state which is effectively controlling the population. And those states which are not controlling the population, they are benefited. Those states which are controlling the population, they are punished. This is the formula what the central government is following, or Finance Commission is following. Sir, comparative of AP budget. See, on various sectors, how the center is spending and how Andhra Pradesh is spending. Sir, on agriculture, Andhra Pradesh is spending 5.9% of the total expenditure, whereas center, which is agriculture, is considered to be priority sector. Center is only spending 3.8%. Education, Andhra is spending 11.8% and center is spending 2.6%. Health sector, Andhra is spending 6%, center is spending 2.2%. Rural development, Andhra is spending 7.1%, whereas center is spending 5.2%. Whereas my colleague sitting in front of me, Kanakamedala Ravindra, TDP, they criticize that state is not spending enough. And their leader, day in and day out, criticizes YSRCP government, saying that the government has failed in all respects, in all counts. This is how the politics are being played. Sir, the crucial sectors like agriculture, education, health, rural development, social welfare, Andhra Pradesh is spending more than the central government despite severe financial crisis on account of stepmotherly treatment by the central government. Sir, coming to income tax, I would like to bring to the notice of Honorable Madam. Madam, there is a 10% increase in the overall revenues on account of tax revenues. Madam, the tax exemption limit, when you came to power in 2014, was 2,50,000. And now, from 2014 to 2022, what is the inflation? Cumulative inflation is 48%, sir. Whereas, basic tax exemption limit remains the same. And I request the Honorable Madam to link this minimum tax exemption limit with that of inflation rate. Sir, with inflation reaching all-time high, but tax rates remain the same. This is the pathetic situation. And I request the Honorable Madam to further rationalize it and inflation be adjusted, again adjusted IT deductions and exemptions. Madam, there are certain difficulties, because I am also taxpayer and chartered accountant, there are certain difficulties that are being faced by the assessees. One is, there are 5 tedious documents which one has to collect in order to file the tax returns. One is Form 16 from the employer. Second is for interest income TDS certificates in Form 16A. Third is TDS certificates for other income, and Form 26 EAS, and tax saving investment and expenditure proofs. These are all the documents which one has to collect in order to file the tax returns. My suggestion in this regard is consolidate multiple compliances across various forms into single ITR form. And form will make ITR, this suggestion would make the form filing IT friendly. Madam, there are certain, which many assessees would have brought to the notice of Honorable Finance Minister. There are certain glitches in the portal. Lakhs of taxpayers have been complaining of glitches and errors in income tax portal for months now. There are several occasions where Honorable Madam has extended the time limit for filing the tax returns, and these glitches are to be addressed very promptly, sir. Sir, reduced subsidies, which is very, very important. Sir, food subsidy has been reduced. Center claims that nobody, in fact, in the yesterday's meeting also, the center claims that nobody remained hungry during the pandemic. But the allocation of food subsidy is down by 28%. Sir, fertilizer subsidy. Reduction in fertilizer subsidy is definitely anti-farmer. Increase in the fertilizer prices has severely affected the farmers. And the allocation towards the fertilizer subsidy has been reduced by 25%. Then coming to LPG reduction, subsidy in LPG reduction. Lakhs of poor households rely on LPG subsidy, and center has slashed the allocation by 11%. Certain important aspects regarding the Andhra Pradesh, I'm concluding it, sir. Andhra Pradesh particularly, major infrastructure projects. And in fact, in 2014, AP Reorganization Act has been passed. And 13 or 14. South Coastal Railway Zone, Vizag-Chennai Corridor, Polavaram Irrigation Project. In fact, I have submitted I met Honorable Madam and then made a submission also. Kadapa Steel Plant, Dugarajapatnam Port, and Kakinada Petrochemical Complex. These are all the pending issues which are yet to be addressed by the central government even after considerable lapse of time. Sir, national educational institutions, which the central government has granted by virtue of AP Reorganization Act, all are operating from the rental premises. Not a single national institute has got its own premises. Whether it is, be it Indian Institute of Petroleum and Energy and Indian Institute of Management, Indian Institute of Technology, Central Tribal University, all are operating from temporary campuses, and I should thank Jairam Ramesh ji for drafting such a loose act, very loosely drafted act of AP Reorganization Act. He very often, now and then, repeatedly claims that he is the author of the AP Reorganization Act, and I am sorry to say that he has drafted it most loosely, sir, and which BJP is taking advantage of it. Sir, in conclusion, the AP leadership, AP BJP leadership, every day now started criticizing our party and government for no reason. What is center doing for AP? That AP BJP will not raise that issue. Center is doing nothing and giving stepmotherly treatment to AP, Andhra Pradesh, whereas Andhra Pradesh BJP day in and day out criticizes the ISRCP government. And in reality, the biggest critic of the central leadership of BJP and the union budget of AP is AP state BJP leadership itself. Sir, finally, in conclusion, I would like to submit to the Honorable Madam that the government claims the mantra, most chanted mantra of BJP government is Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Vishwas, Sabka Prayas. Every year, one element is added to the slogan. Initially it is Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, then Sabka Vishwas, then Sabka Prayas. Every year one is added. Madam, I'm asking, this budget...
Please conclude.
I'm concluding. This budget does not ensure Saath to the states. No Saath. This budget does not ensure Vikas to the states. This budget not taken the states into Vishwas. No Vishwas on the states. This budget does not ensure supporting the prayas of the states. No Saath, no Vikas, no Vishwas, no prayas. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for giving the opportunity. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Vijay Reddy ji. Now, the next speaker, Srimati Jarna Das Baidya. Madam, you have 7 minutes.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Honorable Vice Chairman, sir. The Finance Minister presented the budget in the backdrop of an economic scenario when majority of the people are facing jobless and huge cuts in real income. GDP in current financial year is estimated to marginally cross the pre-pandemic levels. The private consumption expenditure is still short of the pre-pandemic levels, and industries are facing low capacity utilization and rising inventories primarily because of very low demand in the economy. Sir, मैं बोलना चाहती हूँ, जब इलेक्शन आते हैं, आश्चर्य लगता है, मैं त्रिपुरा से बिलोंग्स करती हूँ, तो क्या बोला जाता है? वो जॉबलेस जो यूथ है, उसको एक मोबाइल नंबर दिया गया, बोले मिस कॉल करने से नौकरी मिल जाएगा, लेकिन इलेक्शन के बाद जब मिस कॉल किया तो अब क्या है, इस नंबर से बोलते ये नंबर मौजूद नहीं है, ये नंबर गए। सोशल पेंशन 2000 रुपया करेंगे, कहाँ नहीं किया, और मनरेगा पर 340 रुपीस वो इंक्रीज करेंगे और 200 दिन का काम। अभी 16 डेज और 15 डेज काम होता है, इससे ज्यादा नहीं होते, और वेज भी नहीं, एक पैसा भी नहीं बढ़ाया। तो ये बोलने से क्या होता है, बजट में आना चाहिए। सर, जो मनरेगा पर इस बजट में हम लोग देखते हैं एक्सपेंडिचर बाय 25,000 crores in मनरेगा and reduce food, fuel and fertilizer subsidies and also in allocation in health and rural development. सर, मैं और एक बात कहना चाहती हूँ, जो पीएम आवास योजना, वो क्या हो रहा है, सबको घर दे रहा है, ये अच्छा बात है, सबका घर होना चाहिए, लेकिन इस घर में एलोकेशन क्या है, 1,30,000 रुपया। इसमें क्या होता है, ब्रिक फील्ड में कभी गया है, एक ब्रिक का दाम आज कितना है, 14 रुपया। इससे घर कैसे होगा, 1,30,000 में कैसे घर करेंगे? तो ये बजट में हम लोग देख रहे हैं, प्रपोज a growth of total expenditure by 1,74,909 crores from the revised estimates of 2021-22, but as percentage of GDP, the total expenditure has come down 17.8% in 2020-21 to 15.3% in 2022-23 budget estimates. तो इसमें हम लोग क्या समझते हैं, बजट में सब कुछ दे रहा है, सब कुछ ग्रोथ होगा, जीडीपी बढ़ेगा, ऐसे ही बोलते हैं। तो इस बजट में द squeegee on expenditure is not merely in the central government expenditure. This transfer are to come down from 6.915 of GDP in revised estimate 2021-22 to 6.5% in 2022-23 only. The agriculture and farmers, allocation all major schemes for farmers have been seen budget cut. The allocation for procurement of FCI and under decentralization procurement scheme has been reduced by about 28% at a time when farmers are struggling for a legally guaranteed MSP. Allocation of farmers for fertilizer subsidy has been reduced by 25% under PM Kisan Yojana, and 12.5 crore farmer households are supposed to be provided rupees 6,000 each, which requires an allocation of rupees 75,000 crore only. Now, sir, children welfare, वो बेटी बचाओ बेटी पढ़ाओ ये स्लोगन तो है ही, हम लोग भी चाहते हैं बेटी को बचना चाहिए, बेटी मर रहा है इस देश में ज्यादा। तो चिल्ड्रन वेलफेयर के लिए रुपीज 5,700 crores less than what was budget. Nothing has been done to help children cope the devastating impact of closure of schools and आंगनवाड़ीज वर्कर 20 साल 25 साल से 75 में 1975 में शुरू हुआ। मैं भी CDPO थी, इस नौकरी करती थी इस डिपार्टमेंट में। तो से लेकर आज तक आंगनवाड़ी वर्कर का क्या हुआ, 20 साल नौकरी करने के बाद, काम करने के बाद कुछ हुआ? कुछ नहीं हुआ। 200, 100 बढ़ाते हैं। सर, STC वेलफेयर उसमें भी कमियां हैं। अब देखिए, जो मिड डे मील का जो था, रेज एलोकेशन फ्रॉम ₹10 0.234 crores despite of 35% of children not receiving midday meal during the last year. सर, नारी शक्ति के बारे में हमारा फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर भी वुमेन है, हम लोग बहुत सारी आशाएं है, बहुत कुछ करेंगे. नारी शक्ति upgrading 2 lakh Anganwadis, but allocation is frozen at the revised estimates rupees 20,000 crores only. Sir, 1 minute.
Jarna ji, conclude please.
LPG subsidy also, कभी आए 60% पहले है और 60% card has been inflected budget 2022-23. Now new allocation has been budgeted for the unorganized workers who were registered through e-SARM portals. Sir, therefore, the budget 2022-23 has completely failed in identifying the priorities to provide relief for the common people. It is a betrayal. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, the next speaker, Dr. M. Tambidurai.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, sir, giving the opportunity to express my views on the budget. At the outset, I want to say, sir, our ADMK coordinator, O. Pannirselvam, and also Joint Coordinator, Edappadi Palaniswamy, on Wednesday said that Union government would generate renewed hope among the people. That is our party stand. There we are supporting this budget. So I rise to register the views of my party, All India Anna DMK party, on the present budget presented by the Honorable Finance Minister. First of all, I appreciate the enormous measures taken by the government of our beloved Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji to protect the economic interests of the country during the fearful pandemic, which has devastated the dreams and aspirations of many of all over the world. In the impact of lockdown and subsequent negative growth in the economy is felt by the countries of the world without exception. Few individuals and enterprises have gained, no doubt, but by and large, almost 90% of all industries and manufacturing units, including agriculture sector, have terribly affected and are still not sure when it will get out of this darkness. So in spite of gloom and despair all around us, the government of Honorable Prime Minister Modi had reasonably done well in safeguarding our economy. My heartiest congratulations for what have been done and best wishes for the more power to the Prime Minister. Coming to the budget 2022-23, I am come across a survey conducted by independent services involving more than 40,000 respondents residing in 342 districts of India. The survey has indicated that 20% of citizens are thrilled with the budget and they see many benefits ranging from infrastructure growth to boosting spending and creating employment. 40% believe it will derive progress in at least our area. At the same time, sir, the absence of personal tax relief has been disappointing to a sizable percentage of survey persons. That is the answer. I am appealing the Honorable Finance Minister to consider this. As our Reddy also said, speaking, this inflation is more, but our income tax that when we are charging is still we are continuing that. Sir, if you allow, give more concession, the consumers, the taxpayers, definitely they will spend money that will circulate in the growth, definitely. Therefore, you have to take the opportunity to give, see, that exemption must be, that tax rate, that level has to be increased, that personal tax rate. Sir, and also, the Finance Minister has said in the budget speech that the productivity-linked incentive in the sectors
for achieving the vision of Atma Nirbhar Bharat has received an excellent response. Madam Nirmala Sitharaman mentioned that there is a potential to create 60 lakh new jobs and an additional production of rupees 30 lakh crores during the next 5 years. I earnestly hope that ambitious plan comes true. India is now the factory of the world. India is now the laboratory of the world. India is now the hub of the young in the world. More than 50% of our population is young population. We have to make use of this wonderful resource which most countries do not have. The resource of human power is more important. Our young generation is getting good education, great mobility, and above all, our youth are full of aspiration and dream to have a better tomorrow for them and to their family. Hence, I please make sure that you are complete your target of 60 lakhs of new jobs. Create new mechanism to find jobs opportunity for our youth all over the world. It is not a brain drain by conquering. The world is through our skilled labor. Sir, I would like to specially mention about the Prime Minister Gati Shakti, the 7 engines you have identified, namely roads, railways, airports, mass transport, waterways, and logistic infrastructure are the need of not only today's, but India, also tomorrow's India. With effectively and timely implemented, these 7 engines of Prime Minister Gati Shakti will transform our economy. They will provide seamless, multi-modal connectivity and effective logistics, which India is badly need of. Sir, our Finance Minister is very thought of presenting the budget. Even though there are elections in the different states, it's not tempted her. Here she is come forward to put a realistic budget. As our Reddy said previously, she is the daughter-in-law of Andhra Pradesh, but she is daughter of Tamil Nadu. I think definitely she will help more Tamil Nadu, giving more schemes. That is my expecting that way. That is there. I think our budget will at least come. Sir, Finance Minister has announced that 7.1 lakh crore in capital expenditure, an increase of 35% to bring the flagship economy back to the pre-pandemic level. There has been some attempt to assure farmers by committing rupees 2.37 lakh crore to produce wheat and paddy from 16.3 million farmers. The perennial problem in India is implementation. Large sums are allocated and grand schemes are announced, but they do not get spent as budgeted. The government is also outlined a blueprint for Amrit Kal, the next 25 years until the centenary of Indian independence of 2047. This is a laudable goal. Sir, I want to bring certain projects. For example, the Modi government has been working with the different models of public-private sector partnership and is constantly reviewing model concession agreements for the various modes of road construction of PPP. I was also Transport Minister, sir, Vajpayee government brought this subject. But I am requesting Honorable Finance Minister to see that Tiruchirappalli, Karur, Coimbatore has maybe linked through 8 ways. That project is conceived already. Because when you are coming roads like that, the Tiruchirappalli connecting Coimbatore, you make 8-way road. Within 2 hours can reach from Coimbatore to Tiruchirappalli, connecting airport to airport. Therefore, that is an important subject which we are requesting you already. I requested our Transport Minister, accept the project. Project is now in the government. They have to allocate the money and spend it. And also, sir, regarding the railway thing, the other big infrastructure push for fiscal 2022-23 will be for the railways, which is getting up to carry 8,595 million passengers, almost 2.5 5 times the number it carried in the previous year, apart from the ferrying 1,470 million tons of cargo. Sir, regarding here also, I want to request my area, Jolarapete, Bargur, Krishnagiri, Hosur, your Bangalore, has to be connected. Already the project is announced. Because I am very thankful for the finance minister. She announced that Hosur area, this area is an industry, that is our defense corridor. When the defense corridor, we require that kind of railway infrastructure. Therefore, connecting Bangalore to that rail will go up to Puducherry. 3 states will be connected. Pondicherry, Tamil Nadu, and Karnataka will connect this kind of scheme. Therefore, please consider it and allocate the money.